and sit down. Shut up and sit down.
G'day guys, welcome to the Catbros. As always, I'm Ryan, known as Old Panther, and with me is Aaron, known as Aaron.
Hello. Hello. Yes, I'm not very creative with my names.
Hello, Shadow Creeper. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. I got some good advice from a little birdie. And people will notice...
a little Umbreon.
Yeah, little Umbreon. Yeah, some people will notice the media box is a little empty. That's because I have a special little surprise. Kind of like a Christmas gift, if you will. Now, today's stream, we're actually going to be reviewing the draw for next year, which, thankfully, to the NRL's brilliant management, got dumped on us at the last minute.
Yeah, so much for last Friday.
Yes, I remember that it was coming out, what, a week or two ago, and then last Thursday, and then finally came out today. So we're like, I'm rushing at like 12 o'clock to, oh, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, my understanding was they were intending to release it by the end of October. And that clearly didn't happen, so last Friday was going to be acceptable. I went to work thinking, like, yep, I'm going to get home and there's going to be an NRL draw for me to suss out, and then I get home and all I see is no. The pain.
Oh yes, that was annoying because I wanted to spend the weekend going through it and getting all excited. And now I've seen the sum total of the Tigers draw and our round 1 and 2 games, which I'm looking at right now on my phone.
What else do you need to see? Nothing. You don't need to see anything else. You're fine. You've seen the Tigers, that's plenty.
Yeah, I mean, once we get through, I mean, it's pretty much foregone conclusion what's happening with us. We're playing in the grand final next year anyway, so...
Ooh, them's fighting words.
I mean, I don't even need to see the draw, do I, the way they go in the last couple of years.
Them's fighting words, boy.
Hey, I never said who we were going to play, you know. What I wouldn't give for... Yeah, what I wouldn't give for either the Tigers or the Eels in a grand final, especially the Tigers, because we kind of got that finals game against the Eels this year. It was a big drama and everyone was going off, so it'd be absolutely amazing to get a final a grand final, particularly against the Tigers, but any finals game will be pretty good.
Yeah, you and I probably wouldn't be on speaking terms for the week. Except for the stream. We do the stream and then we're just not talking to each other for the rest of the week. That's it. We're done.
Yep.
Friendship suspended for a week.
Yeah, it's 2 week, grade 3, supporting the wrong team. Wonder what the judiciary's look on that one is. Still probably harsher than anything Latrell Mitchell will ever get. Oh, but yes, so we'll structure a bit differently. We're not going to go round by round and get all technical with it, There's obviously going to be a slight bias towards our own teams, but there will be games of interest, obviously, outside of that, because, well, hey, we are sports fans after all, especially games like Magic Round. You got your big rounds like Easter, the Anzac weekend, stuff like that. So should be good, but I'll hand over to Aaron, his expertise. We'll start off with the Tigers. Give them some love after our Panther-centric stream last week.
Yeah, that Panthers circle jerk last week. that one that I lived and suffered through.
Damn those Panthers.
All in the name of entertainment, I say.
Yes. All right. Well, you're right.
Round 1. It doesn't get much harder than a game against the Storm, does it?
No, not particularly. I still feel the Storm. Like we've got one of the best defensive records over the last 2 years or whatever, and I still absolutely poop myself when we come up against the Storm.
In good news for the Tigers, though, the Storm will be without 3 of their star players. So
what did you do?
They're suspended.
Yeah.
Do we remember some white powder?
See, now I'm starting to question who gave it to them. Hey guys,
yes. The Tigers knew well and truly in advance that they were playing the Storm in round 1, and there's been a little bit of sabotage.
Yeah, Tim Sheen's just send it as his first act is send him up a bit of washing powder and then film him.
The Sheeniest, after all.
Yes, the Lord and Savior. At least if you believe the talk that's going on.
Oh yeah. So overall, the Tigers have a fairly decent start to the season. 4 of their first 6 games are against top 8 teams from last year, but only one of them is a top 4 team, and that's obviously the Storm. The others are the Knights, Titans, and the Eels on Easter Monday.
Because how does that compare to this year? Because this year you had like a run of top 8 or top 4 teams, didn't you?
This year, our first 4 rounds, well, our first 6 rounds, so the same time frame, we had 5 from the 2020 top 8. And out of that 5, what the Raiders finished last year? What the Raiders finished in 2020? 5th, I think.
Yeah, they were top 8. I'll just double check it to make sure.
No, they were top 8. I'm thinking, were they top 4? I think they were 5th.
So the Raiders were, they were 5th. You were right. So that little voice in the back of your head is like, they were 5th. And it was right. Yeah,
so we had the Raiders and then the Roosters. So that's 5th, and I think the Roosters were 3rd.
So the top 8 for 2020 was Panthers, Storm, Eels, Roosters, Raiders, Rabbitohs, Knights, Sharks from 1st to 8th.
Yeah, so we had the Raiders and then the Roosters, so that's 5th and then 4th. And then we had the Knights, so 8th. Then we had the Eels, so what were they? 3rd?
Yeah, Eels were 3rd, and then Roosters were 3rd, and then Roosters 4th.
We then had the Cowboys, and then we had the Rabbits, so 6th.
Yeah.
So that was the start to the season the Tigers had. 3 from 5th to 8th, and 2 from the top 4. So it is a much friendlier start. We also had a lot of those tough games at home. So we had a lot of home games to start this year. But looking at those first 6 weeks, we have just 2 of them at home. The other 4 all away. So the Tigers do most of their travelling. Well, the Tigers travel pretty much every week. But they do a lot of their away travelling early on in the season.
Yeah, well, the Tigers travel even when they got playing at home games half the time.
Exactly. That's what I meant.
Yeah, that's what he's hinting at. It's like when you got 5 home games, every game's an away game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed that they've given us Magic Round again. I mean, come on. Give us an away game in Magic Round for crying out loud. Give us another game at Leichhardt or something. I'll take it. But yeah, so the Sharks at their home stadium. I don't know if that's the first game the Sharks play there. I didn't get that far in to check that out. Give me a moment. No, it's not. Okay, so it's the third game the Sharks play at their redeveloped home venue. They have the Eels in round 2.
Yep. Round 2.
The Knights in round 4, and then the Tigers in round 5. So not the first game at the Sharks home venue, but one of the first few. So that'll be an interesting one to watch.
So how do you think that first month will go? Because that looks pretty tasty, honestly. Like, if I was looking at that for us, I'd be rubbing my hands together going, yes, we can come out of that with a decent record. That,
yeah.
Like, I would expect at least probably 1 loss, and maybe, like, the rest are winnable, honestly. Nobody from Knights, Warriors, Titans, or Sharks should completely stress you out to the point of, like, oh my god, we can't possibly win it.
Yeah, so I mean, out of that first 5, I reckon it would be really nice to be at least 3-2, or better yet, 4-1. Obviously, we all know the Storm's monstrous round 1 record.
Yeah, that's that's not happening. Sorry, Doug.
We also have somewhat of a round 1 record of our own. I think it's our last round 1 loss was either 2013 or 2014. So we're on a pretty good string of round 1 wins as well.
Yeah.
Which included the 2018 one against the Roosters.
Yeah, I have a feeling you're not going to win that one next year. Just a feeling.
I can dare to dream. Shush.
Look, I mean, to be fair, they do have those players out that you mentioned. And if they show up with the right attitude, I guess that'll come down to. I guess I'll backtrack a little bit. You can hear the wheels squeaking as I'm backpedaling, but yeah, if they have a good off season, they come up mentally prepared, because that really was their big issue. We saw it in that first South game. When they show up, they can take it to a top 4 team. So I guess it's really up to them what they want to do. The sky's the limit. I mean, Sheens is back. They've got a few fresh faces, which will hopefully bring a bit of good attitude into the roster.
Yep, there's already been posts on the socials and everything about how much more so than the others, the 2 new guys from the Super League.
Yeah, Hastings
how they're
especially.
Fitting in.
Like, every time I get a notification that involves the West Tigers at the moment, it's something to do with Jackson Hastings. He's like the big thing.
Yeah.
He's the new toy. They're showing him off.
And then Gildart showed up, I think, yesterday for his first training session.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's not a terrible start to the season. I am decently a fan. Obviously, the away game on Easter Monday in round 6, I'm chalking that up with a big fat L.
You guys don't have a good record against the Eels out there.
We have a record of 0 wins against the Eels at Bankwest.
So what you're saying is the only way is up?
Theoretically.
I mean, that's just science right there.
And then we have a home game against the Rabbits on Anzac Round, which I always look forward to Anzac Round, especially if it's home game, because I get to go.
Yeah. Well,
Anzac Round is always a very special time.
You'll be at Combank, which I guess is what they've renamed West Bank to.
Bankwest, yeah.
Bankwest, whatever. Stupid names. I'm just calling it that slightly less Western Sydney Stadium now.
Hey, excuse me, better than stadiums named after betting agencies.
Oh my god.
Blue Bet Stadium.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's Penrith Park to me, or Panthers Stadium. I still call it Panthers Stadium.
Not to the sponsors, it's not.
They're like, hang on a minute, what do you say? I'm surprised I don't get like a letter in the mail fighting me every time I say the wrong name. But yeah, a lot of people actually, there were like, it was sort of a bit of a split where people complained about, betting companies getting involved like that and people not caring and supporting it because, the club needed money around COVID and all that. So I can see both sides to it. So how will that work? Because that, from the looks of it, that's obviously a home game for you guys. So will you go to that?
Yes, I'll be there. Yeah. I was there for the Anzac Day one this year against Manly. So I'll be in my member seats and I'll be very, very hyped for that one. I won't have to deal with the setting sun in my face either because it's a 7:30 Saturday game, so that'll be very pleasant.
Yeah, that'll be good.
That'll be a lovely night of some Anzac Day footy or Anzac Round footy, I reckon.
Yeah, they put on a good. Sorry, I was going to say they put on a good show for it all. So everyone always says the atmosphere is really good.
Absolutely. I was so hyped for the Anzac Day game that we played this year, purely because of the atmosphere. Obviously, the on-field performance didn't quite reflect that, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
At this point.
The atmosphere was good, and that's all we're going to worry about.
Exactly.
And then the week after, you're into the Dragons.
Back down to Wollongong. Yeah. Same round we were in Wollongong this year. Round 8.
Suspicious.
However, no Zach Sini and his Bay of mates this time. So that'll be sad.
Yeah.
But we have a good record against the Dragons at the moment, and I hope we can keep that one rolling.
Well, it's going to be interesting because their roster changes a lot. So
yeah, and 8 rounds into the season, they their combinations should have started to gel by then.
Yeah, so and they have some really good young blokes coming through, so it's not going to be like a walk in the park, I don't think.
No, not at all.
Round 9, you play against Tom Trebojevic.
Yes, well, more so, this was one of the leaked ones over the previous week because it's the whole Hastings coming back up against DCE and the team that kicked him out of the country, basically. So that'll be fun.
Well, yeah, that's going to be interesting.
That'll be a very fun time.
Biffo. Time to bring back the Biff just for that game.
Fibro Silver Tails Biff edition.
Yeah, but I think that's a pretty big game for you guys because after getting absolutely demolished by them last year and in a way that made you guys look amateurish, I think that's one to circle on the calendar just for a point to prove.
We get them again not too long later as well, so...
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So then we head up to Magic Round. We've got the Cowboys, the very last game of the round.
You guys get so many Sunday games. I wonder if it's like that again this year. I wasn't paying attention to the... But I remember this year it was like Sunday. So I... Like, when the games that I tipped you guys for, I'm like, oh, come on. It's taking too long to get to the game already.
Yeah, joys of a Tigers fan. Almost always have to wait till Sunday. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like a 12 Sundays again. 12 Sundays, 8 Saturdays, 1 Thursday, and how many is that? 21. 2 Fridays and a Monday. That's the breakdown there.
Yeah.
which isn't too bad. But yeah, so many Sundays, so many waiting until the last game or two of the round, and it's just oh, the pain.
And especially that's 6:25 because it's the Magic Round weekend, like you said. They have it's structured slightly different, so that you'll have the 3 games on the Sunday.
Yeah, so it's 2 on Friday, 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday.
So you're not only the last game, you're at 6:30 on Sunday.
Waiting an extra 2 hours than you normally would for the last game.
Just to rub it in a little bit. But again, they're another one that are just a completely unknown quantity to me with the Cowboys.
Definitely.
Like the year they had. We
do overall have a good record against them. If we completely ignore what happened at Leichhardt in round 5.
I was about to say, well,
I would like to pretend that never happened.
Before that game, there was essentially a bit of a hoodoo with you guys over there at Leichhardt.
It's not just at Leichhardt, but in Sydney in general. Especially in the Jonathan Thurston era. Jonathan Thurston never beat the Tigers in Sydney.
Which is just ridiculous when you think about it.
Considering the player he was and the fact that the only times he could beat us were when we didn't play him in Sydney. The Cowboys beat the Tigers at Leichhardt in 2000, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And yeah, since then, they never beat us in Sydney if Thurston was playing. I remember, I think it was 2018 and maybe 2016 as well. Both at Campbelltown, they beat us, but Thurston didn't play in either. No, actually, no. 2015. Yeah, 2016 we played them at Leichhardt. Yeah, so 2015 and 2018.
Yeah.
They beat us, but yeah, Thurston didn't play. Sucks to be you, JT.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. You can't help but to have a little giggle to yourself every time you think that. Like, one of the greatest players ever, and he's got that kind of weird record hanging over his head.
Then we have
the Doggies.
Yes,
but
this is first game at Leichhardt for the year. I love Leichhardt.
Yeah, and this has got to be a revenge match, surely.
Oh, absolutely, it does. We need to murder them. Like
Manly, at least they've got turbo, so when they smash you, at least it's like, well, it feels bad, but turbo.
We saw it coming.
Yeah, I think most people did. And especially the way he was playing, he was ridiculous, and the way he just tore you guys up. But the Doggies, that last round game, I was scared to bring it up a bit, but that was just diabolical.
I think diabolical is an understatement.
That's probably about the harshest word we can go up with. We need to invent a new word. But yeah, that's probably
something extreme.
If I remember correctly, that was about your low point, wasn't it? Was that what you called your low point of the season?
Yeah, one of the 2 low points. The other low point was
it might have been just an honourable mention or whatever, but I know it did get a mention in there somewhere.
Yeah, I kind of had it tied as low point with the string of games where we had the Eels, the Storm, and the Rabbits all murderous.
Yeah. So, there's a few revenge games next year.
There's more than a few. We only won 8 games this year. And 4 of them were against the Knights and the Dragons.
Did I swear a vendetta on you and you and you and you and you?
And pretty much every other team as well. But yeah, I absolutely love Leichhardt, and I'm very much looking forward to going there and really ripping into the Dogs. Yeah. And particularly at Okar. Welcome back to Leichhardt at Okar.
Yes.
You are not going to be welcomed back with open arms, though, I can assure you that.
Yeah, and then there's only a 5-week difference between your 2 South games as well.
Yeah, and I think it's 4 weeks between our games against the Dogs. The draw is weird like that sometimes. And
there is another weird point on top of that, which we'll get to when we get there, but it makes all that seem even worse.
Indeed.
But I'll save that.
Yeah, Rabbits, return game against the Rabbits, 2 games against them in the first half of the season. It's probably going to be one of the biggest challenges of that first portion, other than the Storm in round 1. That'll be their home game, but if we can put on the same performance that we did at Stadium Australia against them this year, then you never know. But if the team could do that more often, we'd win a lot more games.
Well, that's it. It always comes back down to, can they show up mentally every time?
Yeah, week in, week out. One of the old cliches that they just don't seem to do.
Yeah. Like, they can play some good football when they want. So, I don't know. Hopefully Sheens makes a difference there. Oh, yeah, and then you have the round 13 bye.
I'd also just like to point out, in quite the opposite to this year, quite the contrast, that whole first 12 rounds, we have less home games than we do away games. So we finished the season really strong with the home games. In that first 12 rounds, we have 5 home, 7 away.
Yeah.
So it'll be nice to actually have some home games in the back end of the year, because most years the Tigers play the bulk of their home games early on.
Yeah, so you got like half a season without home games, really. That would actually be a bit frustrating.
Yeah, and what doesn't help is the fact that out of those 12 home games, like 2 of them aren't at one of the 3 main venues. One of them's Magic Round and the other is Tamworth, which we get to later on.
Which is cool. I like how they do the country games.
Yeah.
You know, most guys get no games at all, so to give them 1 game here and there is pretty good.
I'm pretty sure it's going to get to a point where most teams are going to be encouraged to, or possibly made to take a game to a regional centre.
Yeah.
Not every team is this year. Most teams are, but it's really good to see that like so many teams are taking those games.
Yeah. And it's funny. And then there's your second Manly game. So yeah, South and Manly and Dogs, you'll play with relatively close together. Oh, I don't know what they're doing with that, but and
it's not as bad as
that'll be around Origin time. I've forgotten the exact dates, but you'll get them at a reasonable time of year. That's the 12th
so the
of
Origin
June.
game, the Origin rounds are 13. The rep round between rounds 15 and 16, and then game 3 is around 17.
Yeah, so you never know. You might just get a slightly fatigued Manly team or something.
Yeah, they may have a couple still resting, depending on how banged up they are from Origin, depending on how many get selected for Origin.
And the Doggies again, which, out there at Combank. Not much to say. We already spoke about them. And Warriors again. So you've played all these teams twice.
There are still some teams we haven't even seen once yet.
There are teams that you haven't even seen. Oh, and then you go on to the Eels again. This time at Leichhardt.
But yeah, hold on a sec. It's in quite stark contrast though to 2018, where in rounds 2 and 5 we played Melbourne. Like literally 3 weeks apart, we played the same team.
That's ridiculous. I don't know. Whoever came up with that's an idiot. Although
it didn't work out too bad because we won both games. So I'm not complaining that much.
Maybe it was for the better. Do that again. It was genius. I changed my mind.
It was the thing that made that so much better was the fact that we were literally milestone wreckers. We wrecked I think it was Billy Slater's 300.
Slater and then Craig Bellamy.
Yeah, Billy Slater 300 games in round 2 and Craig Bellamy 400 as coach in round 5. So that was fun.
It must be one of your favorite years.
But yeah, I am actually looking forward to this game against the Eels at Leichhardt. Well, we obviously have a bad record against them in general, but
But you get the home ground and Leichhardt.
Yeah, Leichhardt generally a different kettle of fish, and the crowd will not lay off them in true Leichhardt crowd fashion.
Yeah.
So that one will be a lot of fun. Mitch Moses in particular, and Clint Gutherson as well, will get absolutely blasted from the sidelines.
He's one of the most unpopular players just because.
Yeah, and he's going to learn that.
I don't know how he even managed it. It's so weird.
His first game back at Leichhardt in a little while, and yeah, it's not going to be a homecoming for you, Mitchy boy. You are going to be ripped apart, and I will savor every second of it.
Yeah.
And thank you to the NRL draw gods for round 18.
They can get absolutely stuffed. This is what I was waiting for. You have played all these other teams twice, and then you play us once.
When you're probably going to be resting Origin players
in round 18. And you know the worst part about it is the only game you have against us all year.
I'll take it.
But
we get the home game.
Are you kidding? I'm genuinely cranky about this, right? It really actually irks me. I am irked because I look forward to these games. Like, the rivalry is actually built into something now that it's been able to fester for a bit and grow a bit. Now there's some feeling, and it's great. It's amazing. It's one of the best rivalries in the game. And then what do the NRL do? Oh, here you go. You can have a half bloody rested team that's in the middle of an Origin period again, and like. I want to say
let it all out, boy. Let it all out.
I want to say so many naughty words at the NRL, but like, who thought that was a good idea? If you just look at it, the rivalry aspect, win or lose, who cares? Like, that is a game that's going to sell tickets and get eyes on screen. Like, I really don't understand why they've just completely let it go.
I complain too much because it means we're going to lose one less game against you.
Yeah, sure. From that perspective, it's probably great, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know where the thinking in that was. It's, like I said, it's one of the biggest rivalries in the game at the moment. So why don't you pull your finger out of your butt and actually give us 2 games? I mean, you imagine, like, there is no reason we shouldn't be playing one game against you at Leichhardt and one game against you at Penrith. That should be the standard every year between us two.
Don't worry, I'm going to have some harsh words for the NRL that are probably going to involve a couple swears coming up.
Because, I mean, even this game, right, even though it's in your favour around Origin time, whatever, it's still out at bloody Combank. You don't even get a Leichhardt game.
No,
like,
you don't.
What the yeah.
What the hell was that?
That was me trying to... That was me trying not to swear. Trying to be good these days.
Don't worry, I'm going to let it all out anyway.
Yeah, with the kids now, trying to behave myself, and it's like... But you just get really cranky at it. It's like, I don't know. I kind of like how they've softened up the start of the year and all that. Great. But you could have given us, say, this one at Origin and then maybe wait those couple of weeks and give us like a game somewhere just before finals or something.
So you guys can have another easy warm-up, eh?
Exactly. I mean, what? No, not at all. But
I see what you're thinking.
But you look at your game. It was last year in 2020. That first game against us, they had every chance of winning that. They showed up. Like,
yeah, we were Joey Leilua brain fade away from potentially being a lot more in that game than we were.
Yeah, so it's not as though like you guys don't show up when you play us. We're one of the few teams you actually show up against now. So it's like
But we still lose. We show up, but we still lose. Except for Leichhardt last year. That was fun.
Yeah.
I will play that game on repeat all off season.
but
It's about the only one I'd be willing to.
But that's what I mean. And you see what happened after, and the crowd's going off, it's a wanker, and all this, and you're like, how are they not harnessing this for money? It's literally like a money printing machine at this point, the rivalry.
Yeah, they haven't even given us that game on free to air. Normally that's a rivalry that they love putting on free to air.
Yeah.
I'll actually get more to the free to air games in just a moment, but let's get through the rest of the rounds.
Yeah. But yeah, and on that, it's a Sunday 2:00 game. It's basically the worst spot of the entire weekend. So you've got
second worst.
Yeah. So you've got Thursday night's probably one of the worst, but
I'd say Friday 6 p.m. Because
maybe.
people are still coming home from work.
Yeah, I guess 8:30 start on Thursday probably helps a little bit, but 2:00 Sunday, there's something about it that's just like, Like, I'm very switched off mentally on the 2:00 Sunday games. I do watch them, but yeah. But seriously, they've done everything they can to disrespect that. It's just stupid.
Yeah, not even giving it a proper Tigers home venue, either Leichhardt or Campbelltown.
You don't even get to go to Leichhardt.
Throwing it in Parramatta.
But yeah, you guys can just play it essentially what is a third-party stadium. Congrats. It's, I don't know. Anyway, moving on. I'd rather us
go back to Stadium Australia and have those games there. I much preferred Stadium Australia. Yeah, it's a bigger stadium, and yeah, it was often empty or close to it, but I still feel like it's a better spectacle there. Yeah, Bankwest is great and all, but
everyone just brags about
doesn't really work for the Tigers.
Yeah, everyone, talks about how good of a stadium it is for spectators. Like, ignoring win-loss ratios from it, the actual spectacle of it is apparently a lot better. Been meaning to get out there, but hey, who can afford that? And COVID and Because everyone says it feels like you're like right on top of it all.
The next two rounds, though, thank you NRL for being nice to us and giving us 2 games in Queensland in 2 consecutive weeks. Give the team a little bit of a holiday up in Queensland together.
Well, after the last couple of years, they'll feel like they're going home again.
Yeah. Plus, we have good records in Queensland recently, playing both the Cowboys and the Broncos.
Well, to be fair, everyone has a good record playing those guys.
Yeah, I suppose so.
When they're bottom 4 teams, everyone's having a good run.
But yeah, I do like that they've put them in 2 consecutive weeks, so we travel once and we stay up there and we don't have to travel back up there again.
Yeah.
And that'll be the last of the travelling the team do outside of New South Wales, so that'll be nice.
Oh, so you get the last, 5 rounds all in Sydney?
And 4 of them are home games. Well, 3, we don't get all of them in Sydney. 1 of them is in Tamworth. But yeah. 4 out of 5 home games in the last 5 rounds. So,
geez, they've really given you guys a good run.
If they're in contention for the finals, having a lot of bums in seats in that last 5 rounds, particularly the 4 home games, could be really bloody good for the team.
Well, every year you've had a shot to at least make it 8th up until those last couple of rounds. So, I mean, if you're ever going to do it, this would be the year to do it with a draw like that.
Yeah, and like let's not get too far ahead of myself because my angry NRL rant is coming.
Oh no.
I wonder if you've picked already what it's about.
I'm not going to say anything. I want to see.
Yeah.
Chat.
Don't say anything, but I wonder if you've picked it.
Oh, and Justin said, can't wait with those little devil horns about the game against you guys.
we're beating you again, Justin. You can pencil that one in for an L.
Jeez, that was... You remember that really horrible game? Was that this year or last year? And they went for a short dropout and kicked it straight to Luciano. And he just walked in and scored.
Yeah, that was 2020. That was when we murdered them 48-0.
Jeez.
Good times.
I still remember that game well. That's crazy.
48-0's a good score, isn't it, Justin?
Oh, look at that! You get the Knights and the Sharks again.
Yeah, we do.
You literally get everybody else in the competition twice and us once. Good job.
Well, except for two of the teams in that last 3 rounds who we haven't even seen yet.
Which is funny. You get us once, and you've got a couple of teams you haven't even seen at all.
I think 2017 was the same. We didn't play the Warriors at all until the final round. And it's weird that the NRL does that sometimes. Like, you'll play 14 teams, some of which twice over the first 24 rounds or 25 rounds in the 26-round season. And then you come up against the team in the final round of the season that you haven't seen all year. It's like, oh, hey, guys, you still exist.
That's right. Yes.
So the Knights and Sharks home games, take 2 of playing the Sharks in Tamworth, because that didn't happen this year.
That was awkward.
So I do like that they've given us the same opponent to see if we can actually make it happen this time.
See, second chances. Everyone deserves a second chance. Even the Tigers.
Well, the Tigers have had 10 chances and they haven't capitalized on any of them. Hopefully chance number 11 is the one that sticks.
What do they say? Better late than never.
Yeah, I would have preferred 10 years ago, but yeah. So then we're a trip down to the SCG.
Hey, you get to play the Roosters.
To finally go say hello to Teddy, Mommers, and the rest of the Roosters. Because they still exist. We won't have seen them yet, but yeah, they still exist.
Madge will be like, right, guys, we're playing the Roosters, and the roster will be like, wait, who's that again?
Wait, there's a team called the Roosters still?
When did that happen? Thought they were kicked out of the
Where have they been all year?
Yeah, what the hell?
And then we finished the season with another 2 home games. The Dragons at CommBank, where we beat them this year. So can we do that again, please?
Yes. And then you get to finish off Raiders Sunday, which good luck with that if your season's on the line.
You NRL. Fuck you so fucking hard. Why?
See, I went to so much trouble to not swear this time. I was behaving myself. And then the NRL went and did this. Good on you. You ruined it, NRL.
Why the Raiders? Why Leichhardt? Why? Please, let's already be qualified for the finals by then.
Oh my God.
I can't take 2016 all over again.
Oh, there is some major PTSD going around about this one.
Yeah, and then 2019 PTSD against the Sharks as well at the same freaking venue.
It's funny, for a ground that you guys love to play at, it really is letting you down at the end of the year.
Yeah, it is. It does as good during the middle of the year, apparently. Or at the end of the year if we're trying to just avoid the wooden spoon. But yeah, if we're playing for a spot in the finals, we suck. Because that game I mentioned against the Warriors in 2017, I'm pretty sure it was, in the final round, that was our home game at Leichhardt, and we beat them.
It was
reasonably well, I think. 2017. Yeah, 28-16. We beat them at Leichhardt in the final round of the season.
There you go. But no, I don't know. Raiders aren't what they were, though. So you have that going for you.
Yeah, well,
like when
who knows? They might be better.
Yeah.
They might be back to their 2020 and 2019 selves.
I don't know. I don't see it. There just seems there's something missing. Hey, Ash is back. Hey, Ash.
You just missed my rant.
You missed the swear words.
I just exploded.
Yes. I tried so hard not to, too. I'll behave myself. Sound incoherent doing it, but at least I can say I did it. And then it turns out it doesn't matter anyway.
Because Aaron is just going to unleash.
Look, when you support the Tigers, I guess it's just something that happens to happen from time to time.
Exactly. You understand. You get it.
See, if they make finals, there will be more swear words. There'll just be happy swear words instead.
Yeah. But overall, I actually like this draw.
Yeah, I was about to say, surely you're pretty happy with that. The one I come back to is obviously this year's draw, where because I remember us having conversations at the start of this year, and you were relatively unpleased with the start that first month or so.
Yeah, that first 6 weeks was hell. I was like, if we come out of that first 6 weeks with one win and 5 losses, then we're not doing terribly.
Yeah, I mean, even I thought you got absolutely screwed with that, because that sets the tone for your year. Like, if you can come out relatively even, say a 2-2 or whatever record, at least the teams, the head's not going to drop. You know, all right, we're going all right, we can build. But you go through against a bunch of top 8 teams and get smashed for a month. Well, what's that saying for the rest of your year? No one's going to have any confidence.
Although we should have been at least 2 wins out of that first 6 rounds this year. Possibly 3 if you would count that Rabbits game the way it went. But
yeah, but to be fair, that
potato.
Yeah, Golden Point is a bit of a lottery, so.
But yeah, overall, it's a pretty decent draw. We have an even 12-12 split against top 8 and bottom 8 teams. Top 8 teams we played twice are the Knights, the Eels, and the Rabbits. I think only those 3. Bottom 8 teams we play twice are the Sharks, the Dragons, the Cowboys, the Dogs, and the Warriors. I think that works out right. I think you play 8 teams twice each. I think.
Yeah,
not 100% sure, but I think.
You only get us once, so whatever, NRL.
You're going to be salty about that all year, I can tell.
Oh, I'm going to be salty about that for a very long time. It's stupid. stupid people made the stupid NRL draw. Like, most of that looks good. It's just that one point that just bugs me. That's my one bone of contention. I'm like, you've got one of the best damn rivalries in the game and you're completely neglecting it. You didn't even put it on a good slot. You could have at least made it like the Friday 8 p.m. game, or like the Saturday.
Sunday 4 o'clock.
Yeah, Sunday 4 o'clock. Put it on a decent time slot at least, so the one game we get a year, and put it at either Leichhardt or Penrith.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no, wait, we play 10 teams twice each. No, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wait.
We're running the numbers.
Oh no, here it is. There's I'm looking at the article, the West Tigers 2020 draw snapshot article on NRL.com. They've made a boo-boo.
Can't even get that right.
The teams they play twice: Rabbits, Eagles, Eels, Knights, Sharks, Dragons, Warriors, Broncos, Cowboys, Bulldogs. Teams they play once: Storm, Panthers, Roosters, Titans, Raiders, Broncos. Can you see what doesn't add up there? Did you catch what team I mentioned twice?
What do you think, chat? Chat says they'll get back to you.
Did chat pick up on it? But Yeah, apparently we play the Broncos twice and once. So Justin, I guess I'll see you 3 times next year.
Congrats. The biggest rivalry in sport in the world.
Sorry, Ash, spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the stuff up. So it is 9 teams we play twice, which means I missed Manly. I didn't say we played Manly twice, and they were one of the bottom 8 teams we played twice.
Yeah.
Actually, no, top 8 team. Top 8 teams.
They were top 4.
They were bottom 8 in 2020. I'm getting my ladders mixed up.
They all look the same to me.
But then again, 2020, Tom Trbojevic broke his ankle in the shower, so that was why they finished bottom 8.
Yeah.
He spent so much of the season in his shower just because he broke himself.
That is just still the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
There are weird NRL player injuries or causes of injuries, but that is probably up there on the weird scale.
Yes. All right. Do we want to move on to Panthers Draw? If there's any final thoughts, I think we just did our final thoughts. But anything else? That we've covered it.
What do you think of the spread of who we play at each home venue? So we'll look at CommBank first.
Well,
we've got the Storm.
For a start, I'm just gonna say it's fucking stupid. You got the Storm at CommBank. You got us at CommBank. Like, what the fuck are they doing? I get it's probably
We've also got the Rabbits and the Dragons.
Yeah, I get it's probably a financial decision, but Leichhardt would be the one I'd be taking the big games to. So you're playing the Storm, you're playing us those games. Yeah. Like I don't know. Whoever, like you, it's I don't know. It must be a financial decision. Is the only thing I can think.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Taking top 8 teams to that ground is probably like a corporate thing, so they can bring more money in.
Yeah. And then speaking of Leichhardt, we've got 2 big Sydney rivalries in the Bulldogs and the Eels, and then fucking Canberra.
Ash said, look at some of those Thursday night games. WTF. For example, Knights versus Manly and Broncos Cows. Sunday 4 p.m. and Saturday 5:30. Well, to be fair, Broncos Cowboys up until recently was a top 8 rivalry. They had a couple of years in a row of 1 point, golden point victories, and they were super exciting. Some of the best games of the year. So that's just the 2 teams have died in the arse in the last year or 2.
Although I think I remember hearing Abdo in the video on YouTube saying that they're actually really excited to have that Broncos Cowboys derby as a day game, and obviously it's going to be televised, so Sunday 4:00 probably isn't a bad time slot for it.
Well, Justin just said Broncos Cows need a daytime derby.
They've got one now.
Will be the first in 16 years. So there you go. Straight from the mouth of a Broncos fan.
And then the other thing that I said I would come back to that I haven't come back to yet, the Tigers normally also get a really even spread on the free-to-air games. Usually it's around 12.
Yeah, because you get a lot of those Sunday games.
Yeah, but we have 12 Sunday games in total this season. And as for games that will be televised on free-to-air, 9. So it's a 9 and 15 split instead of the usual 12-12.
Interesting.
So they're not liking us as much at Channel 9 anymore, which I guess after 10 years of no finals is fair and reasonable.
Yeah, your viewership's probably dipping slightly. I'd imagine it's still up quite a bit, but it's probably dipping a little bit with that. Win a few games and it'll come back.
Usually it's because our two suburban venues in particular are really good for family grounds. So it's really good to have those sorts of games on the Sunday, like the Sunday 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's a really good time slot for the family games. As for our Sunday 4 o'clock games this year, the ones that we have that round 2 versus the Knights, round 5 versus the Sharks, round 8 versus the Dragons, round 15 against the Bulldogs, and round 19 against the Cowboys. And round 25 against the Raiders. So we do still have a few of them. Other than that, the only other televised ones, the only other free-to-air ones we have are round 4 against the Titans on a Thursday night, and round 23, the last game on Saturday, when they start doing televising the 7:30 Saturday games from round 21.
Yeah.
Those are our 9 free-to-air.
There you go. Not as spoiled this year. See, NRL's favourite club right there.
Yeah. Also, Tigers and Titans on Thursday. Yeah, that's a weird one, I reckon.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's probably more of like a Saturday evening game. I wonder how many people you'd actually get to a Titans home game on a Thursday night.
I can't imagine a lot.
Yeah, I don't think they've had many Thursday night games up there on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, no. All right.
Yeah, I can't think of too many.
Yeah, me either, honestly. All right, might jump over and hit this Panthers draw.
You're very robot-y there.
Hey. You there? Chat. Is there audio issues happening?
Or is the audio issue just me?
I don't know. I'm freaking out, man. Chat, help us out here. Do we sound funny?
Well, you've gone back to normal now. Keep saying a few words.
The truth is out there. Do 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 do. X-Files music.
Yep, that seems to have fixed itself up.
Okay. We'll just pretend like that never happened.
Yeah, just got to roll with those tech issues on streams.
This is what happens when you're live and you don't have lots of money and a producer and all that.
We do what we can.
Yeah. So, yes, we'll jump over to the Panthers draw. Which, as I said earlier, I've only seen the first 2 games because I spent my day editing the Tigers visual spectacle that you were witness to. So feasting your eyes upon, I should say. But yeah, so round 1, we play Tom Trebojevic and the Manly Sea Eagles, like a 70s rock band or something. Because let's face it, he is carrying them on his back, right? I don't think anyone disagrees with that one. It's probably why his hamstrings go so often.
Yeah, carrying a whole other 16, or I won't say 16, maybe 13 or 14 other players in that team on his back.
See, sometimes DC will get off and help, and then other times he'll like just jump straight back up there when he's feeling like not really getting involved that day. It seems to vary.
His brother always helps him though.
Yeah, his brother
is never really a passenger in that team.
No, even if he has a quiet game or whatever it might be, he definitely works hard no matter what. But no, I think we covered Manly before, but for us this game isn't like it's not like it's a huge rivalry game or anything like that. At least from my perspective. Maybe Manly fans feel a bit different. I mean, we've had some fun games against them. We had was it 2017 we came back by like 20 points or something and beat them. But yeah, generally speaking, it's a bit of a okay. It is a football game, I guess. Like a lot we used to start like round 1 against like Eels and stuff like that a lot, which is the actual rivalry game. So,
yeah.
You know, it's exciting from the point of view of the football coming back, but like it's not one of those games. I'm going, oh my god, I can't wait to play Manly. Oh wow.
I do like the idea of starting the season with the Dally M winner versus the Clive Churchill winner. That is quite a battle.
Yeah, like you got some good star players in there, and the fact
which one of them's going to get their team on the front foot.
Well, that's it, and the fact that we actually get to start at home, will be good. So
like, and you're not just any old game. You are the first game of the entire season.
Chloe Pace, as if you think Saab isn't carrying Manly, lol. Well, when you've got legs that long, I mean, probably makes it easier, like all that leverage.
Nice of you to finally join us, Chloe.
Better late than never. Sure, she's not a target.
We've been talking about it for weeks. You're finally here.
I'll witness the greatness.
You did miss my rant though. It was a hell of a rant.
The peak of the night, right there.
Swear words and all.
It's just all downhill from there. That's it. We peaked at the rant.
Yeah, now we're talking about the Panthers. The peak was that rant.
No, but then we go into the Dragons. Like, again, it's another meh game. Like, okay, like we would be going into that game quite heavy favorites. And
yeah, for sure.
Like, it's the Dragons. I mean, I guess if you want to look at it from like, oh, Anthony Griffin, he got booted out of Penrith and now he's coaching against us. Ooh. But I don't really care. I'm just like, whatever, we're going to smash them. Move on. You know, like, I don't know. I find it hard to get too excited about the Dragons.
No, like, you don't really feel like there's much of a rivalry there, which is fair.
Yeah. Like, yeah, they got our ex-coach, okay. And?
So what?
Yeah, like, I see the Dogs as more of a rivalry. If you're looking at, like, people who used to be at Penrith, at least they've got multiple, including...
Cup.
Yeah, exactly. You know, including players and the coach who was our assistant. So at least there's a bit more meat in that one. And Burton only just recently played the grand final with us. So, and a lot of people argue he was best on ground. So at least there's something there to grab onto. And there was all that media drama at the start of the year. Let him go. No, it'd be good for his development. No, it won't. You suck. Oh, wait. It turns out he was in a grand final. It was really good for his development. Never mind.
Yeah, and he takes that grand final winning momentum to the wooden spooners, and that can only be good for said wooden spooners.
Exactly, like you said, when you're at the bottom, the only way is up. That's just science.
Exactly.
But I mean, they're getting some good players, so at least
unless you're the Knights of 2016, I think it was. Or was that 17?
15, 16, and 17, I think it was. Or was it 14, 15,
which of those seasons where they got the wooden spoon was the year where they only won one game? Because they were wooden spooners a year before that, I'm pretty sure, and then there was that
They had 3 wooden spoons in a row. I can't remember which one. They only won one, though. I'll have to check now. You got me thinking about it.
17.
I'm curious now.
It was 16.
Yeah.
They had a win and a draw and 22 losses.
That hurts.
And yeah, they were the wooden spooners in 2015, with 8 wins and 16 losses, which is crazy that record this year would have got them 11th, 12th, or 13th.
Though, on a unrelated note, Bodo in a dog's jumper is horrifying. I can't. There you go. So when's the wedding? I like this one. Just a keeper. Extremely intelligent football IQ happening right there, I think.
Yeah, you're not looking forward to seeing Burton in that dog's jumper, aren't you?
I'm gonna, those little sick bag things you can get that they get at the hospital or you take if you're traveling long distance. You got car
On an
sickness.
airplane, yep.
Yeah, one of those things. I'm gonna keep one of those. I'm gonna need a good supply because I try and watch every game every week. So every time the dogs come up, it's like, blah, blah. It's gonna be just everywhere. I'm like, oh, quick, give me the bag. Because
the 2015 wooden spoon with an 8-16 record, and then the 2016 wooden spoon with a 1-22 record. I'm pretty sure that's down. That is the long way down.
That there is you can't get a lot lower than that unless you unless you actually get kicked out of the competition. That's about as low as you can go.
It's about as down as you can go.
Which, speaking of the Knights, that's who we have in round 3
in Bathurst. You've got your Bathurst game nice and early.
Yes, which it's always good to, as we said before, it's good to get those games out in those regional areas.
For sure.
I remember that's where we had the Raiders and Matt Moylan put on 2 tries in the last minute and a half or something to beat the Raiders, and it's one of those games where you just sort of never gonna forget. That was an amazing game. But no, I haven't been out there, even though my mother lives out that way. I've never actually gone to the ground there. It looks like a nice little cozy spot to watch the game.
Whenever I come to Sydney, I drive past it.
Yes.
That reminds me, actually, I am going to Sydney that weekend. Okay, we play the Friday, you play the Saturday. That's fine. I won't have to deal with traffic on the Saturday. Excellent.
There you go.
Good things to check.
Yeah, actually, it is when we do the long trips, we always leave I have a sleep and I get up when it's still dark so I can get through Sydney, because get absolutely stuffed. I'm getting stuck in Sydney traffic, and I get through Sydney before everyone's awake.
Yeah, I'm probably going to have some late night trips up for Gabe's next year to try and be as fair to my work as possible.
Yeah. Ash said, I remember 32-2 against the Storm. Sad face. Yeah, if I remember correctly, if it's the one I'm thinking of, that's where Dylan Edwards had the worst game of his life, and no one thought he'd play first grade again, ever again. And now he's a premiership winning fullback. But I could be thinking of a different game though, because, the Storm tend to do that to people.
Yeah, 66-16, anyone?
Doesn't ring a bell. Oof.
The pain in my soul.
Yeah, but no, the Knights, again, one of those ones we don't really have too much heat towards. We did have that game when we had a big winning run in 2020 where I think they were one of the only teams not to lose to us that year. I think, I can't remember if we played them again that year or not, because we drew against them. Neither of us won, technically speaking. Then we lost to the Knights. Then we went on a 1,000,000 game winning run.
You mean you lost to the Eels?
Yeah, so we drew to them, lost to the Eels the week after. And
no, that was a little while later, I think.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, that was round 3. That was the first game after the restart, and I think you lost to the Eels in round 5 or 6.
No, sorry. 8. Yeah, sorry. There's a game I forgot. I think we played them, the Warriors, then the Eels. There was a game.
You also beat the Storm in there somewhere before you lost to the Eels, I think.
Great.
You beat the Storm. You beat the Storm by a point out at Campbelltown as well, I'm pretty sure.
No. So round 3, we drew against the Knights. Round 4, 26-0 against the Warriors. Round 5, 16-10 Eels beat us. We played the Storm in round 6, so we beat the.
It was the week after. Yep.
Yeah. So you were obviously remembering it close. So the Storm was the first win of that big winning run
of the streak,
which is actually kind of hilarious. So the Storm capped off, they bookended each end of the winning run. They were the first win of that,
And then they were the team that ended it.
They were the team that ended it. So it's just a little bit of, poultry, I guess, in that one. But yeah, so we drew against the Knights, beat the Warriors fairly convincingly, and then lost to the Eels by a converted try, and then went on a winning run.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad. But yeah, again, they're not a team we have a particular hatred for. I mean, we'll go into the game wanting to win and all that, but that's about as far as it'll go.
Next one's the big one.
Yeah, it's not like we even have Burton to pull to sort of bring up his 1,000 field goals or anything like that. So it's like that's even gone now. So yes, the first game we get to that actually has any meaning at all is round 4, Friday the 1st of April.
And it's an April Fool's joke.
Oh my god, and they did it too. Someone at the NRL is really playing on this draw this year.
They're just screwing with you. In particular, they are literally just screwing with you. They're only giving you one Tigers v Panthers game, and they're making the grand final rematch an April Fool's joke.
It's yeah, and that's going to be where they come out and announce that we actually didn't win the grand final and we're disqualified in south of the Premiers or something.
Yeah, all those social media videos are going to look a little bit silly, aren't they?
Oops. But it's going to be weird because obviously they, losing Reynolds particularly is the big one. So I'm keen to see what that does to them. I mean, and they've lost Bennett as well, who's one of the best coaches ever, as they say. He's good at getting his teams up and going and getting ready. So I don't know.
They will have a few weeks to ease into the season post Reynolds as well, and Latrell will be back by then as well.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to see a lot from them by that point. I mean, that's round 4.
There's going to be a second rematch later in the season where it will probably be a much more competitive game.
Yeah, that'll be the one I think to sort of keep your eye out for because it's you've got to accept it's going to take them time to get into a groove. Like an off season isn't going to do it. You need time on field as well. So,
especially with a departure the caliber of Adam Reynolds.
Well, yeah, he's one of the best game managing halfbacks in the game, along with Cleary and whatnot. So, you don't lose that lightly as well as your coach. And then, as you alluded to, you got Latrell coming back in those first couple of weeks as well. So he's going to have to get his match fitness and combinations and stuff as well. So I don't know.
Yep.
That game, I'm looking forward to playing South next year. But that particular one, I think, is just going to be, unless they pull something out of their butt, I don't think it's going to be the one we look forward to. It'll be, as we said, the one later in the year that we'll really look forward to.
Yeah, that one's going to be the telling one. It'll be close to the finals as well. You'll have a really rough idea of exactly how it's all gonna pan out by then. You'll potentially both still be top 4 by then, or you guys will be top 4, and they'll be searching for top 4 because if they're not there, they'll be close to it.
Yeah, and I hope they are. I hope they don't fall off a cliff with the changes this year. Like, it'd suck to see because, I don't know. I don't want to see teams just die in the arse like that. Then we go on to round 5. Sunday, 6:15 p.m. The Matt Burton Cup.
Round 1. Fight.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yes. I will admit they're one of the teams I'm really, really keen to see next year and see what happens because they've had some of the bigger changes, along with, I guess, the Broncos are probably in there too. Justin might remind us just to let him know I didn't forget you. It's okay. I haven't forgotten. Like, them and the Broncos are the teams I'm particularly keen to see where they go because they've changed so much. So,
yeah, wholesale changes.
Yeah, it's like, let's just clean sweep this. But I don't know, especially the way they're going, like, they seem to have made a lot of positive changes too, but just that hooking role, that's the one that just, I can't get it out of my head. It really bugs the hell out of me.
And maybe still a little bit light on in the forwards
Yeah,
compared to what they could be.
Bringing over Pangai is great, but my concern for them is Thompson and Hetherington. You got guys like that who are going to be suspended a lot unless something changes. Like maybe they have a really good year, they're really disciplined and everything's fantastic and they're great. Maybe, but I don't see it happening though.
Yeah, I don't either. It's one of those ones where it's like, will it or won't it? And I'd say probably won't it.
Yeah, because I thought they were going to be better with players like Hetherington going over there. And I was like, it's because in my mind, at some point, Hetherington has to get the message, right? Like, he can't just keep being the way he's being. And then look at the year he had. He was suspended so much. He just got back from a suspension, played against Stars. His first 2 tackles of the game were high tackles. And I was
that was a bad look.
I'm like, bro, what are you doing? I just want to send him a text message and just, I don't know, give him a pat on the back and be like, look, it's okay. You can tackle people below the shoulders.
It is something that you can do.
It is humanly possible. Please, for the sake
it is a thing that works.
For the sake of my sanity, please. Oh, but no. And then we go on to the Broncos. Bum, bum, bah. So yeah, we get to play you guys, Justin. Playing your Panthers side only once. And he's got a big smiley face. I can't imagine why.
Well, in saying that, though, the Broncos were one of the teams that really took it to you guys.
Yes.
Twice last year.
Broncos, Souths. Yeah.
Tigers
once.
Well, we beat you once, but we took it to you the second time as well. You didn't.
It was a
beat
messy
us as
game, though.
convincingly as you were supposed to.
It was a very sloppy game, though.
You still didn't beat us as convincingly as you were supposed to, and I'm taking it.
I'll take what I can get.
Exactly. It's the life of a Tigers fan. I have to.
But I've always said we're one of the few teams you actually show up for, so I think, the coach just, imagine this needs to trick them into thinking they're playing the Panthers every week, and you'll be top 4 probably.
Nice. Just pretend they're the Panthers wearing every other team's jerseys eventually.
I wonder, they are football players. They're probably not the brightest, so I wonder if you could actually convince them somehow. It's like, anyway, guys, playing the Panthers this week. Let's go. They get all worked up. They go out there and is this the Panthers? Yeah. It's just their alternate outfit.
One of the many. Because don't worry, we've got the Panthers next week as well. Oh, and then we've got the Panthers the week after that. We'll be fine.
Yeah, this NRL draw is really weird. Don't worry about it. Don't overthink it.
Oh, we've got the Panthers a 4th time in a row. Let's go again.
Yeah, they just really like this rivalry. That's all. It's worth lots of money. Don't worry about it.
Oh, Easter Monday's here. No, we're not playing the Eels anymore. We're playing the Panthers.
in their blue and gold alternate strip.
Yeah, Justin, I wish. I really wish.
Oh.
It's going to be a long wait.
Yeah, the off season feels too long, honestly.
At least we've got cricket.
Yeah. But to be fair, though, even though you lost to us twice last year, you can't be too upset with that. Especially that first game we went down to goal. It was a field goal that won it, really. Yeah, we scored a late try, but that has to be one of the best games the Broncos have played in 2 years. That was legitimate top 4, if not top 2 quality from the Broncos. I don't even know where they got it from. It just happened, and I was like, oh, well, holy crap. Hey, NSL's here. At least we got Women Rugby League through in February. Yeah, I saw a thing about that earlier, so that's good.
Yeah, I think that starts. I think round 3 of the women's comp is round 1 of the men's. So, yeah, that last week of the trials, I'm pretty sure is when the women's comp starts. So, which is great because it means in that week off between the last of the trials and round 1, we're going to have the women's comp to look forward to. So that is that weekend between the trials and round 1 is usually immense pain.
Yeah, it's just dead space.
The fact that we're going to have 3 or 2 rounds of women's comp before the men's one starts is heckin' exciting.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. More football, the better, I say.
Round 1 of the women's is on Ash's birthday. Very nice.
Oh, there you go.
Round 1 of the men's is a couple days after my birthday.
There we go. Oh, NSL said, should there be a Panthers women's team or a Tigers one? Don't Tigers have one?
In the Harvey Norman women's comp, not the women's premiership.
Ugh, it's all over the place.
We do need. I do think they are looking to expand.
Yeah, I think it's a
women's
case
comp
of
more over the next few years.
They're just taking it slowly, building it up, so that way they don't overreach from a financial perspective.
And from a talent perspective as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it's like, because obviously everything flows on. If you don't have the money, you don't have anything. So it obviously, as you build up the competition and the recognition for that competition, that's when you have, as Aaron said, the talent and the money and the sponsors and the crowds, and it all sort of just slowly trickles in and builds up and does its thing. Because at the moment, it's, as far as I know, almost entirely dependent on the money that comes in from the men's game. I mean, there's a few sponsorship things around, I'm sure. But yeah, it'll be good to see eventually a women's comp that runs like concurrently with the men's comp.
Yeah, I reckon there'll be the women's comp will go up to 8 teams within the next 2 to 3 years. I think that's when they're looking at next expanding. Yeah. Like, you compared that to the AFL. I think the AFLW started maybe 5 or 6 years ago with 7 or 8 teams or something like that. And the one that will start, I don't know if their comp starts in late in the year or early the next year. I think they start early the following year. But yeah, the women's, the AFLW has announced that they have expanded to a full 18 teams from this year when they had 14. So the final 4 teams, the final 4 men's teams that didn't have a women's team will soon have a women's team, I believe, in 2023. Not sure how long their comp's going to be, but
yeah,
the expansion has happened.
Yeah. NSL said, what are your thoughts on the Eels playing the Dogs on a Saturday in round 23? I don't have an issue with it. I think the Dogs will improve to some degree this year. Obviously, we're yet to know how much. I don't think it's a big deal. They're not.
Eels are one of the big unknowns for me this year. Will they drop, or will they hover around, or will they push for the top 4 again? There haven't really been many changes, so no one really knows.
Yeah. I don't know. I think they are a traditional rivalry, so they're probably good for a Saturday game. People can put the barbecue on, maybe have a few drinks, whatever, do their thing, or maybe go to the game. So yeah, I like Saturday games. Maybe it's just me, but Saturday is actually my favorite day for it because you can kind of make a day of it.
What time on the Saturday? Let me check.
Yeah, but yeah, Saturday's my favorite day because you can make a whole
what
day.
What round did you say? 23.
Yeah, 23. You said
3 o'clock. Oh, so it's the first game of the day. The first game of Super Saturday.
Maybe the 3 o'clock games.
I thought it might have been the 7:30. Like that one still gets televised on free to air because it's late in the season.
Yeah. I don't know, but I guess it's up to the fans of those teams like yourselves what you guys prefer. I have my preference, but that's because we usually, like, when we drive down to Penrith on a Saturday, it makes it really easy. We can drive down there, park, spend a day down in Penrith doing whatever we want, have some lunch, go up to the game, what's the reserve grade or whatever. And then when we leave, it doesn't matter what time we get back. So say, for example, on the 7:30 game, doing the drive back from Sydney, by the time we get back and everything, it's late. We can crash, Sunday happens, you can sleep in, it doesn't matter. So that, for me, Saturday games are better, but each team's fans will be a bit different.
And them on a Monday as well. When do the Eels and Dogs play on a Monday?
I disagree. It was great playing on a Friday or a Sunday because the Dogs are improving in 2022, So hopefully Eels versus Dogs won't be dead like the last 2 seasons. Yeah. I mean, I can definitely see it
14,
with
Monday,
that.
June 13.
I can definitely see it with that time slot, maybe, if people are like got plans on Saturday and then they don't have time to get up to the game for the early time slot.
It is very different. Sorry, I was just looking at what NSL was saying. They play on a Monday as well. That Monday is the Queen's birthday long weekend, so it's Bulldogs versus Eels instead of Bulldogs versus Dragons on that Monday. That is a very interesting choice.
I definitely don't mind that. I mean, they are a traditional rivalry, so...
It's just the Queen's birthday fixture is normally one of those rock solid ones, but
yes.
That weekend the Dragons are playing the Cowboys on the Friday instead, so that's a bit unique.
Yes. Oh, and before we continue as well, next week is going to be a bit different. While we've got a few people here, Aaron's abandoning us for a week. He needs a week off.
You made that sound so bad.
I know. I was trying to spin it as bad as I could. Those awful Tigers fans.
The guilt. I feel the guilt.
No, but yeah. So next week I will probably maybe just pull up a game or something and just have a more casual, less structured, maybe a bit of a Q&A stream. We can chill out a bit and whatnot. But yeah, so it'll just be me next week playing some games. I think it's the best way to do it, and then we can save some more actual topics for the week after when Eric can actually get back.
Yeah, I'm just going to be a little bit too busy to do this next week. I mean, with my work schedule, the fact that I'm coming back from Sydney on the Sunday and I'm not really going to have much time off. So, yeah, I'll be giving the stream a very sad miss on Tuesday next week, but I'll be back the following week. I just need that week off.
Yeah. I mean, it is what happens. Life happens, unfortunately.
Thanks, NSL. I appreciate that. As for the hacking situation, so that is, well, there's not really much I can do about that. As people can see, I've got a new profile picture on Discord. That is not just the profile picture. That is the entire Discord. Because I was a dum-dum and got myself hacked on Saturday night and lost access to my account. So here I am with a new Discord and rocking and rolling all over again.
Yes. Yeah, I woke up the next day and was like, oh, wait, is this Aaron? Like, why would you...
You didn't see all of my text messages that I sent pretty much in caps.
I left my phone on silent so I didn't get woken up.
Yeah, but I was in a blind panic all Saturday night, and it was a very late night. And
work people tend to have a habit of messaging me at ridiculous times. I got a message even today, even though I'm on leave. Go team, because they're all confused. What do I do? And so I didn't see my phone. I'm like, why would Aaron make a new account? Is this Aaron? What's going on? And then he's like, check your phone. And I had to look at my phone. All these messages. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, Aaron hit the panic button, the big red panic button on Saturday night. Didn't he, Shadow Creeper? You know all about Aaron hitting the panic button on Saturday night.
Alert.
But yeah, like I worked a 6-day week last week, and then I had that I was supposed to have a day off on Sunday, but mentally I didn't feel like I had one. So
yeah, which can definitely happen. It sounded pretty stressful.
Physically, I had a day off, but mentally, no, I did not get to shut down and relax the way I felt I needed to. And that's going to be exacerbated this week when I actually don't really have a day off because 5 days at work, including a very long day on Friday before I head up to Sydney, and then come back on Sunday to do another 6-day work week. So that's gonna be something, and yeah, that's the main reason why I'm going to be giving the stream a miss next week.
Yeah, mental fatigue happens. That's why I took 2 weeks off work. I'm currently on leave because the human body has its limits, and we don't get paid for this. So we do this for fun. We get nothing out of this other than the enjoyment of interacting with everybody.
Although we will gladly accept pay.
Yes. Hey, it'd be fantastic if we did, but it's just it is what it is. All right, so back to the draw because we'll be here all night talking about other stuff because we're good at that.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, so we're up to round 7, Penrith. Now we're actually to a game that is actually a decent rivalry game for us, which is the Raiders. They always tend to get a bit fiery, a bit grubby, a bit wordy.
Your team, are your players going to pull some Raiders into your try celebrations again?
You know, the funniest part about all that was for the first 20 minutes of the game, the Raiders were being grubs and Penrith did nothing. When Crichton gives him a little hug, and then that's it. It's like, oh, they're arrogant and everything explodes and it's ridiculous. I'm like, there's a point earlier in the game where Ryan James walks past Eisenhuth, who's just laying on the ground. Fallen over, whatever happened, and he slams his head into the ground. Something that's actually dangerous and nobody noticed. And you're like, and the media's calling us like all these names and stuff. And you're like, get absolutely stuffed. That was ridiculous. So yeah, I was tempted to go through and make a video about that, and I'm like, nah, I might sound a bit petty. And everyone's just going to be like, oh, you're a Panthers fan defending your team anyway. So I was like, you know what, stuff it. I'll leave it alone. But
for later.
yeah, because it was horrible. Like, our games have always been a bit fiery like that. So I'm sitting here wondering why anyone is even surprised. It just happens. Like the year before, it was Kikau and Bateman, I think, who went at it. And it's fun to watch. Yeah, it's one of the good things about the game. You watch for the fire and all that. But yeah, apparently it's just because we've been winning some games the last couple of years, the media decided, hey, here's a good little angle we can take. And it worked. Everybody fell for it and believed it, even though Penrith had pretty much done nothing wrong. Then round 8, we've got the Titans, which is a bit, okay. Friday, 6 o'clock game. Like, makes sense for that matchup, honestly. Like, it's not a great time of day, but yeah, it's
worst time slot in the history of time slots.
Yeah, but it's one of those games that kind of deserves it. It's not like we're a big rivalry game or anything worth really mentioning. The one the week after is, though, Friday, the 6th of May, 7:55 against the Eels at Penrith Stadium. I went to say it and it just came out different somehow.
I wonder why.
Yeah, I refuse. I'm not saying that name. You can't make me. But yeah, that's the big rivalry game there. That and West Tigers for me are my big rivalries, which thank God they gave us the 8 o'clock game. Hey, NSL. Yeah, you should like that one a bit more. You said you're not a big fan of the Saturday games. We get the Friday 8 p.m. game, which is a nice, good slot for us there at Western Sydney. That'll probably be a sellout for sure.
They do like giving you guys the Friday night or the Sunday Arvo free-to-wear games for that particular rivalry.
Yeah, they'd have to. It's a massive selling game, that one. Oh, here we go. They're arguing in chat. Oh, my God.
Hang out of it.
Fight. And let me find a popcorn eating gif. We'll put it up on the stream. No.
Then we have your Magic Round game. And I would just like to say, when we were talking about the leaks for the 2 Magic Round games that they leaked, which were the Panthers and the Storm and the Roosters and the Eels, did I or did I not say the Panthers would more than likely be the game that capped off Super Saturday, and Eels versus Roosters could very well be the 4:00 Sunday? And I fucking nailed it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the NRL we're talking about here. They are relatively predictable in their chaos. They're both super chaotic and super predictable at the same time. Don't ask me how they manage it.
Yeah, Justin, we're spectating as well. It's a good time. It's a good show.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame you can't get out there. I mean, get yourself some tickets, NSL. Yeah, Storm is the Storm. I think, I don't know, it's an interesting one how that goes, because we had a thing with them, but now that we've won the grand final, I wonder where the feeling in that's going to go in future seasons now. Because our thing with the Storm was the fact that we didn't win the grand final, and they beat us, and now that we've won a grand final and we had to beat them to get there, we've completely wiped that slate clean. So I'm very curious to see how our attitude with them is next year, just among the fan base in general.
Yeah, absolutely.
But we won't know that till the games actually roll around next year and you actually start to see the conversation sort of start picking up a bit. Because, yeah, I don't know. It's
like,
what's that?
That game as well, like that Magic Round game against the Storm. That's in the middle of a heck of a 3-week period for you guys.
Yeah, like we got a bunch of big games then. So that's, yeah, Eels, Storm, Roosters, and then it drops off again. So it'll be a good, exciting couple of weeks, I think, that look forward to. Because I look forward to playing those games now. You know, it's, I guess when you're winning, you can do that. But no, especially
winning helps.
Because then we've got the Roosters the week after, which again is going to be a bit of another factor, because this year, obviously, we all know with their injuries and stuff. So next year, they're going to be a completely different team again.
Winning? What is this winning you speak of? I can't relate.
Well, see, when you score more points than the other team, you win the game. Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
Sounds like a ton of fun.
It does.
Why can't my team do that?
I don't know. I just discovered it the last 2 years. It's great. You should try it.
I mean, if I was one of the players, I bloody well would try it. But I have to leave it up to them.
We might need more swear words. Madge broke
a bigger budget.
Yeah, Madge broke the record, and it still wasn't enough swear words. Oh, I still can't believe watching that show and seeing how much he swears. Like, it's crazy. I thought I was bad. NSL, Panthers vs Storm and Magic Round will be very exciting to watch. Oh, it's going to be amazing. Like, I love watching our games. Like, you saw this year in that first game, the hand of Kickow. Yeah, stuff like that. Even our finals game, like, it was a messy game, but it still came down to like the last minute. They could have won it. Like, with this, how close the scores were. Like, it's like, they've been exciting games, but like I said, I don't know. The big unknown for me is just more where our mentality with them is now. And where I say, oh yeah, on the Roosters. So yeah, I mean, I don't know anyone who's not picking them for top 4 next year. I mean, surely they're not going to have another injury run, right? Right?
Theoretically.
Like, that would be just infinitely unlucky. Like, I would feel
sad.
I would feel so bad for them if they had that happen again. Like, it was a horrible year. Which means we get to go back to fearing them again, so that's fun.
Like the good old days.
Yeah, like the good old days of the last 10 years. Yeah, and then we go into Cowboys Bulldogs, which round 2 of the Birdo Cup. Cowboys. We've had some alright games against them, but again, they're not one that like I mark down on the calendar and go, "Oh, there's a Cowboys game coming up against us." Yeah. The only thing I can think in our history where it's been a particularly like awesome game or crap game or whatever in the extremes is I think they had a massive comeback up against us like years ago. It was like 20 something points or something, or nearly 30 points, and they came back against us and won. So yeah.
Many years ago are we talking?
Yeah, I can't remember exactly when it was, but years ago now. Probably not even in the last 5 years.
Yeah, right.
Probably longer than that ago now. I'll look it up at some point and I'll put it out there. Maybe, put a tweet or something. I don't know, but I'll definitely look into it. Yeah. And then we have the Dogs again after that. Which for obvious reasons we're all looking forward to that. I think I'll be looking forward to that one a bit more by round 13. If they're gonna go somewhere, you'll see it by then.
Like you'll have a pretty good idea of what the team's looking like and how well they've gelled by that point, because that's halfway into the season. There's at that point like a basis to build up on. But if I remember rightly, the Dogs have a very, very rough start. So you never know. The late season surge might be their thing again, but this time the late season surge might be enough for the finals. Who knows?
Not us until next year, because we can't watch it because it doesn't start for another couple of months. Thanks, off season. How we love you.
That was the other question I meant to ask you. So you went to watch Panthers versus Dogs for your birthday this year.
Yes.
Which game falls closest to your birthday this year? I remember it's in May. Is it the Panthers Cowboys?
Yes, it's the Panthers Cowboys. It's Friday, and my birthday's on the Saturday. So I'm the 28th.
So the day after.
My birthday's the 28th. So yeah. So my birthday game this year is the Cowboys. At least it's a home game, so at least the NRL's kind enough to give me a home game for my birthday.
My birthday game is pretty much always round 1.
Well, good thing you've got a winning record for round 1 then.
Yeah, until it all comes crumbling down in March this year or next year.
Oh dear, the Storm.
I do like that though. That is a very interesting matchup. They've put 2 round 1 undefeated teams against each other. One of the streaks will end. Fingers crossed it's the Storm.
Yeah, and then we, what is it? Ash said, what about 2018? They beat us 26-28 Carrington Park. Yeah, we've had lots of like decent games and quality games, and they've won some, we've won some. They're just not a team like get particularly excited about, like in the preseason when you're looking over the draw and go, "Ooh, that game there's getting me all excited. I'm super keen for that." Like to me, when we play the Cowboys, it's like, oh yeah, hope we win that one. I'm excited that my team's playing, but that's about as far as it goes. I think Justin are probably more excited when they play the Cowboys than us. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, we go through. So it's Knights and Warriors. Yeah, I guess.
A doubleheader against 2 of those teams you're not overly keen on.
Yeah. But we've had some alright games against them, like Jerome Luai had his debut against the Warriors, for example, which was like a fantastic game. He played the house down, got a man of the match. One of Nathan Cleary's first games where he really shone and showed his quality running the team on his own was against the Warriors a few years ago.
And the Warriors are going to be another one of those teams where it's going to take a while to see how they actually go.
Yeah, which
especially with the loss of RTS.
Yeah, which is another point. Yeah, which is one of those things next year where there's a few of those teams where you're like, okay, we've kind of got to wait to see what's going to happen with them, because you're just not going to know until a few rounds in.
The connections, the combinations can start to gel.
We've had so much roster change this year. And then back to the Roosters again, which they are a bit of a rivalry, I guess. The 2003 thing still sticks around, and then we had that 2014 game, so they are one of our actual rivalries, which is good. I do like playing the Roosters, and Brad Fittler was...
That's the thing. Most grand finals kind of generate a new rivalry, or birth a new rivalry if there wasn't already one there.
And we also had Gus and Brad Fittler go across there after 91, and all to do with the Super League and all that sort of stuff. That's all those complications. They went across to the Roosters and we lost them. And
you're talking before my time now.
Yeah, talking about way back, way back. But yeah,
back in your day.
Yeah, back in my day. But yeah, because obviously they won the premiership as player and coach respectively in 91, and then the mid 90s they obviously went over to the Roosters. So yeah, sad times. But yes, they are definitely one of our rivalry teams.
NSL, the Panthers versus Knights. Home game for the Panthers is round 3 in Bathurst. This second one is up in Newey.
Yep. McDonald Jones Stadium in Newcastle. Round 14, Sunday the 12th of June.
Yeah, that one.
That's the one. If they want to give us 2 home games, I'm not going to argue the point, but it'd be a bit unfair, I think.
Also, going back to that Panthers versus Bulldogs rematch, that's the Origin round. You guys won't have your Origin players.
Oh, yes, the 3rd of June.
The Bulldogs won't have theirs either, but the Bulldogs Origin players will probably be an entire team of Josh Adokar.
Yeah, there you go. So I'm sure they can replace a winger.
Burton, maybe.
I mean, they've got...
Off the bench, potentially.
I mean, they've taken Naden from us as well, if you forgot. Who is it's funny, he keeps getting named as a centre, like everyone sees him as a centre, but I swear to God, he is a better winger than a centre. I've said it before, like, I don't understand how that never became his spot just permanently. That's what he does really well, and he's got all the attributes for it. He's actually quick. He's pretty quick. He's tall. Like, I don't know. What do I know? I'm not an NRL coach, I guess.
Yeah, sorry to backtrack, but I did just realise that it was the Origin round and it hadn't been mentioned. I was like, oh, I will mention that.
Yeah, no, definitely worth mentioning, because I was just like, oh yeah, it's the Dogs again. And we spoke about them earlier, so I was like, okay, we'll just move on. And then, yeah, completely forgot about the dates for a second there. I don't know.
Yeah, so that one, again, they could actually have a decent shot at upsetting you like we did this year.
Yeah, but it'll really depend on
how well they're going at that point. Like, if they have the momentum as a team,
it's not going to do them any. It's not going to do them any good to play us around Origin if they're still absolute hot garbage. Like, yeah, they've still got to work for it. Like when you guys played us at Origin time, you still played well.
Ash, if you want to be technical, it was actually an upset. The Panthers, despite having 9 players missing, were still favourites. It was still an upset.
I was quite upset.
I wasn't. I walked away from that game with a giant grin on my face and a giant check in my hand. It was a lovely night.
Winners are grinners, as they say.
And I was a winner in many ways.
But I mean, it's one of the things that bugs me about that kind of conversation is if you want to be a successful team, you've got to accept that the Origin period is going to happen.
Yeah, and you've got to be ready for that.
Yeah, it's been happening for years. Everybody's had to deal with it. The Broncos had to deal with it. The Roosters, the Storm. Like, we can't turn around now and go, oh, we've had a couple of successful years. Oh, poor us with the Origin period. It's just not how it works. We have to deal with it as much as anyone else had to.
Exactly. You're just, because your team is going so well, that's why you've now had so many players get selected. And if you continue to perform well, you'll continue to have all those players selected, and that just might be a nice little golden ticket for the Bulldogs to get a win.
Yeah, and then you look
at that point of the season, they'll probably need.
And honestly, I think that was a big contributing factor to winning the grand final. The fact that we had all that grand final big game experience that we didn't have before. And then we had the hardships after that. We lost the game to the Tigers. We had some injuries later. We lost some games later. Went into the finals, lost to South. South played great. And it really... And all of that build-up from midway to the season to losing that South game was the lesson that we needed the year before that we didn't get because we just went through pretty much completely unencumbered by anything. There wasn't really a lot of injuries. Origin was played after the year.
Yeah, Origin didn't happen until after the season was already over, so you didn't have that experience of what the Origin period
exactly
would have done to your momentum.
They didn't actually have a lot of the adversity they had this year, which I think was the key difference in winning that premiership. So honestly, for all people want to talk about losing players, I think go for it. You want to have players in Origin, do it. I think it's good. I like it. The only thing about Origin, I just want to make sure we've got 3 Wednesday games. That whole Sunday Origin thing, it's a
weird one.
It doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. Maybe I'm just stuck in my ways, traditionalist. I don't know, but for me, it's not. It irks me. I'm irked again.
You're getting, and you're about to get even more irked with the following game. Oh my
god, we're getting back there.
You get to rant about it all over again. Take it away.
Round 17, the bye. I can't. No, I'm joking. No, but yeah, I guess it's all right. But yes, this is the one that really grinds my gears. I'm especially irked at this one.
Is that going to be the Peter Griffin grinds my gears meme, the one that you're going to use as the thumbnail for this stream?
You know what? It's happening. It's
like the Panthers logo with the Tigers logo.
As soon as I'm done here, I'm going to edit that and make it the thumbnail. That is happening.
I look forward to seeing it.
In my mind, this is, as I said earlier, this is one of the biggest rivalries in the game at the moment, and they have completely shat all over it. They've stuck it. Sunday, 2 p.m, probably one of the worst, at least top 3 worst time slots of the weekend, probably top 2. You can argue between 6 p.m. Sunday and this one for different reasons. And then on top of it...
6 p.m. Friday.
Yeah, Friday, sorry. Words are difficult when the NRL has made you cranky.
When you're so irked.
Exactly, right?
It's a lovely word, isn't it? Irked.
Yeah, I like that word.
Irksome.
But like, we've only played once. It's around Origin time. It's like, we need to play you either sometime in the first quarter of the season or the last sort of quarter after Origin.
6
sometime
weeks.
Yeah, sometime in the first or last 6 weeks there. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. And then maybe if you want to give us the other game there. But then to top it off, not only have they given us a crappy time slot at a crappy time of year, they've also put it
at a crappy venue.
And that's not NSL. We're not having a go at your stadium. In relation to these teams, though, it is crappy. Apparently, it's a great stadium, right? Not knocking it. But this should be at either Leichhardt or Penrith.
Or Campbelltown.
If you want to do it that way. The fact that it's essentially an away game for both teams is just... There are no words. It is ridiculously stupid and clearly just... let's take the top 4 game we've got to this stadium because it brings in corporate dollars, most likely. But I'll leave it there because I could just keep saying swear words constantly, and I'm going to avoid saying that because I'm trying to behave myself and get into good habits for the kids.
Meanwhile, Aaron doesn't give a rat's ass.
Meanwhile, Aaron's over here going off chops about having to play the Raiders. Something about 60 points. I don't know. I can't remember.
50. 50, thank you very much.
Didn't the Raiders beat you by 60 once?
Not that final game in 2016.
No,
I think that was like 54-10.
Yeah, I do remember there's some pretty big thrashings in the last few years, especially when they were good over that sort of post 2016.
2018 maybe.
Yeah.
NSL, the last time the Eels and the Tigers played at actually Leichhardt was 2013.
It's been that long.
We've kind of like starting 2014 which was the year the Easter Monday clash started. That was when both teams started playing both clashes at ANZ at the time. And then obviously once Bankwest opened up, it moved to Bankwest. But yeah, so it's been a while other than the Easter Monday game that was moved this year since the Tigers and Eels have faced off at a venue that is not a quote-unquote neutral venue because both teams play home games there. As for Eels versus Tigers at Campbelltown, I am going to start doing a little bit of digging and I will find out.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Old Panther continues on his merry way.
I'll continue on this and we'll wait to hear back from Aaron.
Oh, here it is, 2012. That was easy.
Oh, that was quick.
I started at 2012 and there it is. It was 2012, round 22, Monday, the 6th of August. The Tigers won 51-26.
There you go.
As for the Leichhardt game in 2013, let's see what that result was. Round 3, Friday, March 22, Tigers won 31-18. Back in the days when the Tigers had a good record over the Eels.
Yes. Yeah, while I was collecting footage for the Tigers clips earlier, I actually did notice a bit of a pattern. You guys actually had some decent wins over them back in the day.
Yeah. Those were good times.
Because I was trying to get like a bit older footage.
When I was a wee lad.
Yeah, so that way, hopefully, the copyright gods would go easy on us. And yeah, I was like, ooh, it's actually not too hard to find enough winning games to sort of emulate this year's draw. So I emulated this year's draw with footage from older games and labeled them as such. And it was actually really easy to find a lot of winning games from the Tigers. So that once upon a time, they knew about this thing called scoring points and saving tries and defense and all these good things. So there you go.
Yeah.
Maybe Mad should show them.
They were some good times when they really just played a good attacking brand of footy and the defense sometimes backed it up.
Maybe Matt should show them. Like, see these guys in Tigers jerseys? They're real, and they actually did these things while wearing Tigers jerseys.
That winning run from 2005 just put it on repeat.
Look, Tigers jerseys don't automatically make you lose. See, it can be done.
Yeah, just go out and start throwing some Benji Marshall flicks.
Man,
it works, trust me.
It's crazy how athletic he used to be. I know,
right?
You kind of forget watching him when he was older, but like he was actually pretty quick too. He had some toe about him.
He's a freaking ninja.
Yeah, I've noticed it, especially lately, looking through the highlights and stuff, and you realize how quick he was. He was able to beat a lot of players just on pure speed. Like we all talk about his step, but he actually was able to just outrun people as well.
It wasn't painful for me to tell you, NSL. Trust me. 51-26, Tigers beating the Eels. That's a good scoreline. We need to see that again. I'm just throwing out the fucking shade at everyone today. Although it's going to be all talk because the Tigers are going to play like a busted ass again in 2022. But anyway, exactly. I'll enjoy pretending that they're going to play well in the meantime.
Yeah, he's got to take it while he can get it, all right? Let him have his moment.
I need a moment. We suck. I need something.
Give him the off-season, all right? Let him have the off-season.
Yeah, until we get absolutely curb stomped by Melbourne in round 1.
Don't worry, you won't be the only one.
Well, we'll be the only one getting curb stomped by Melbourne in round 1. No other team can do that.
No, Melbourne are going to beat you so hard in round 1. It's going to reverberate through the competition and they're going to get like 12 competition points from other teams. Like half the games in round 1, no one will get points and the Storm will actually get their points.
Yeah, they're probably going to beat the clock in round 1, I reckon.
But
although I do like our chances a little bit better with no Munster, no Brandon Smith, and I think no Harry Grant as well. I think someone copped a suspension in that prelim.
Yeah,
maybe
so
it was
I don't know.
Harry.
I'm curious to see how much of it sort of hurt them to lose that final against us the way they did. It'll be curious to see what, like, because Bellamy seems like the type who would not take that easy. He's very much a professional, a perfectionist. I can imagine he'd be like, we are not repeating that year again. He seems to be one of those types. But yeah, those players out will be the big one. I'm curious to see if you beat them now. The problem is, anytime there's even a little bit of hope, then they go out and play like absolute crap. So it's like, maybe better just to go in thinking the Storm will smash you and then be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 shit games for every good game.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. The Sharks. It's funny, right? So we got the Sharks in round 19, 23rd of July at Panthers Stadium. Because I refuse to say the other one. And yes, I'm going to say it every time. But we didn't beat them. We couldn't beat them for like 5 years. I think the first time we got them was 2019. It was actually Matt Burton's debut game in the first grade. That was one of the first.
Sign, you're playing the Tigers and the Sharks in consecutive weeks again. You're going to lose them both again. Conspiracy theory activated.
I see what the NRL are playing at now. We figured you out. We see you. But hey. So no, that's weird because that was actually a big thing for a while, and then Gus came out after 2016 and said it was a soft comp and all that. I'm sure everyone remembers that. So there was sort of a bit of a rivalry happening there, but then it died off quite suddenly. They started having a thing with Melbourne after beating him in the grand final, and then it just slowly died off over years. And you're like, oh, okay. But yeah, for a while there, between 2016 and 18, they were one that you kind of really wanted to get out there and beat them. But that's gone away now. We're a couple of years too late, unfortunately. And then round 20, one of the rivalry games we actually get to play twice. Thanks, NRL. You actually remembered one. Congrats. Though that one's so obvious, they probably just didn't need to think too hard about it.
I just gave a round of applause to the NRL for actually giving you a rivalry game that matters.
Yes, and again, Friday, 8 p.m, because that's their favourite time slot for us, which I don't mind. It's a good time. It gives me time to get back from work and have dinner and do everything and settle in. Eels home game this time. I'm sure NSL, you're going to go to that one maybe? Don't know. Guess we've spoken about it before, but it's always good to sort of play those good top sides. I mean, I assume they're going to be top 8 next year. Coming into those last few rounds, I remember 2020 again was one of those years we didn't have a lot of tough games coming into the finals. So it'll be good to have a few hard games. I'm looking at now, so we go over Eels, Raiders, Storm, South before we play finals, so we do have a few top teams.
Then an easy fortnight leading into them.
Yeah, so it's like they can kind of thrash it out, have some tough games, and then hopefully ease
rest
off
up a few over the last 2.
Yeah, and then maybe rest up. So I quite like it. like our draw, actually. I'm quite happy with that. Outside of that Tigers game, I'm pretty happy with it. The Tigers one, I think, is an absolute misstep. I cannot be more angry about that. I'm like, it's an amazing rivalry. I mean, did they not see the footage of Tigers fans pointing and yelling?
Larry's a wanker.
Like, and then you've got, Ivan blowing kisses, and like, it is built so well. Do you think we can meet up the Eels Panthers match? Looks like you might be talking to Ash. I don't know. But yeah, like, it's such a massive rivalry. I don't understand how you can neglect that. It bothers me. We need a second game.
Before we move on, so what do you reckon is the toughest period of this draw for your team and for mine? When would you say the toughest stretch of games is going to be? Whether that be from a traveling standpoint for who you're playing, whatever other reason you can think of.
I'll probably say just post-Origin, because we're going to have Roosters.
Post game 3.
Yeah, so Roosters, Eels, Raiders, Storm. Like, that was our period this year where we were at our sort of worst, and fatigue kicks in, and you might get an injury to here and there, whatever.
Well, that Roosters game, that's like
First of
9
July.
days after. Yeah, that's 9 days after game 2, because game 2 is the previous Wednesday.
Yeah, so it's like.
So you might have players back for that one before you have the bye in round 17 during game 3.
Yeah, but by that,
then your Origin players will be potentially be rested in round 18.
If it wasn't Roosters, I probably wouldn't worry too much, but obviously the Roosters, as mentioned earlier and in previous streams, everyone's assuming they're going to be back to their best, so I think that'll be like the start of it, and that's why I'm happy about that part, that our second half of the year, but I think at the same time it'll be tough in patches.
Yep.
Because I think if you played the exact same draw but at the start of the year, I don't think it's as bad. You don't have that fatigue when that starts kicking in. You're midway through the year, everyone's starting to pick up the niggly injuries. I mean, like you said, that's just after Origin 2, so you've played 2 rep games now. Everything's starting to sort of get tested a little bit, and that's when you started noticing us more so. And so, yeah, I think that's going to be... I'll be looking at our second half of the year. Those last 2 games I'm not worried about. So I'd put my cutoff at the South game, that second South game there.
Yep.
The Warriors and the Cowboys don't really bother me at the end there. Like, I don't mean to be offensive, but like, that theoretically, at least on paper, should be, easy enough for us to handle going into finals.
And especially if you're guaranteed top 4 by that point, it presents a nice chance for you to rest those players heading into what'll be another tough final series.
Yeah. So you got a nice little 4 or 5 game bracket there, and I'll include you guys in that as well because, as I said, you guys actually seem to show up against us. So even though when you're not a top 8 team, you tend to play like one against us.
Yeah, and again, you'll probably be missing some players for that game if they're being rested after Origin.
So I think that's definitely our period for you guys. It's interesting. I don't know, your draw seems to have evened out a lot for you in terms of how hard it's going to be.
Yeah, a lot more fairer than in recent years where we've had brutally tough stretches and then that sucked out all the momentum from the season.
Yeah, because that seems to be the habit where you'll play a lot of top 8, top 4 teams or whatever around, and then you'll drop off for a couple of games, and then so
this year we had 2 of those stretches, rounds 1 to 6, where, as we mentioned earlier, we played 5 games against 2020 top 8 teams. And then rounds 13 to 16, where we played every team from the top 4 in 2020. So, like,
yeah,
you take those 2 stretches, that's a lot of losses. Obviously, we won 1 against you guys, but there's still a lot of losses there, and that's just like the entire momentum and hope for the season just shat on immediately.
Yeah, mentally it's absolute shit fight.
As for tough stretches for us, what do you reckon?
Oh, well, what, as a Tigers fan, would you say is your least liked period there of a couple of games?
Well, there's a fair bit of traveling early on where we have those 3 away games all in a row, but one of them's like out of state. They've actually been fairly nice in making the Tigers travel. They only have to leave New South Wales for 4 rounds. Like, we don't have to go to Melbourne. We don't have to go to Canberra. We head to Suncorp twice. We head to, I don't know, five games we've got to travel out of state. No, yeah, so we head to Suncorp twice. We head to the Gold Coast. We head to Townsville, and we head to New Zealand.
Yeah, and like I've just scrolled through it, and you don't have any big periods where you've got like maybe 3 or 4 games in a row, all really difficult games. They seem to be broken up a lot better this year.
Maybe rounds 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If you cut out 8, that's a bit of a tough period there from rounds 5 to 9.
To be fair, I'm probably downplaying the Sharks more than I should, because I guess you guys probably don't have the best record against them. I don't know, but
no, we don't. We have a terrible record against them.
So probably should count the Sharks in that. So maybe
yeah, 5 to 9, I'd say, would be the Tigers' tough run.
Which is interestingly pre-Origin for you guys.
And who knows, we might not be missing any players for Origin, but I really hope Stefano gets to play Origin, because if he plays as well as he did this year, he bloody deserved it.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting as well how all that plays out.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know.
There's a lot in there.
Because there are good people coming through, so I don't know. So any general neutral sort of games?
Shall we have a quick squiz of the 3 milestone or the 3 occasion rounds? Easter, Anzac, and Magic?
I'd say so.
So Easter is round 6.
No,
obviously you've got your...
I just switched my draw because it's on to all teams on my phone. I was on just Tigers. So round 6. Yeah, so we go from the Thursday game is Raiders Cowboys, if I've got the right round up.
Yep, you do.
And then so that's the Thursday game, which
not a great Thursday game.
I mean, it'll be all right. It'll be all right if the Raiders pick themselves back up and the Cowboys have some level of improvement. That could be a really good game. Like in years like gone by, like that should have been a really good game before both sort of dropped off the face of the earth. South Dogs, you would expect a walkover, but I don't know what's gonna happen to South. All the Dogs.
That's always a nice fun.
So it's that's gonna be a bit of a lottery, but we'll probably have a bit of a better idea by then. But it's fairly early on still.
Yeah, but that is a good Friday free-to-air doubleheader though, because like we were saying before, the Broncos took it to you guys last year. They could very well do it again.
Yeah.
Especially with this being round 6, Adam Reynolds will have had a chance to gel with that team.
And I do like the little thing where you've essentially got the premiers playing back-to-back on the Friday. That's a neat little thing for...
All the grand finalists, you mean?
Yeah, you got like us and Souths both on the Friday night playing one after the other.
Yeah, starting with the runners-up and then the premiers follow suit.
Yeah, it's a nice little thing that they... I don't know if they did it deliberately or not, but it's just a nice little thing.
When is Indigenous Round, Ash? I haven't seen anything about which round that is. As for Saturday, Eagles, Titans, and Storm Sharks. I think they really wanted to hype up Storm Sharks because it's Hines and Finucane going up against their old team.
Yeah, I would imagine they were looking forward to that. It's sort of like the us and dogs thing.
Yeah, that could. And there's been a pretty decent rivalry between the Storm and the Sharks in recent years as well.
Yeah. I mean, 2016 grand final. That's where it came from. It has started off a little with once Gallon left, but...
Yeah, and with Cam Smith now gone as well.
So...
I have very vivid memories of that game at Shark Park where Cameron Smith was sent to the sin bin. And the Sharks fans just ripped him a new one.
Yeah, that's a very fondly remembered game from a lot of people.
A lot of fans of pretty much every team except the Storm.
Yes. Manly Titans, I'm not expecting much from. It's a game, I guess.
Yeah.
I think the only thing with that would be probably to see. It will be nice to see how far the Titans have come playing against a team that came fourth. So that'll be the main thing. Looking forward to seeing how their season goes if they keep improving.
And what sort of start they can get off to. What sort of momentum they can start with.
Yeah, like surely confidence is at a high. Yeah, they got knocked out of the finals, but the fact that they were able to make it and play finals had to have been a big boost to them. And then we've got Roosters Warriors Sunday 2 p.m. which I suspect
not the best game in the world.
Yeah. I mean, not the Warriors might come good, but I think they've got a lot of work to do, and the Roosters, as we've been saying over and over again, are going to be top four. And we'll say it again, the Roosters will be top four.
Probably.
So, yeah, it's like, one of those things, that's going to be one of those games you expect to be a walkover. Looking at this, it'll be either them or the Storm that have the biggest win of the round, probably.
I'd say so.
Knights, Dragons.
Yeah, there's not much there, I don't think.
Like, you guys, Eels, it will be an interesting game just because obviously I do have a soft spot for the Tigers and I like watching their games and hoping they win. But, I don't think it's a traditional rivalry game. It's more just see if Tigers actually play better this year.
Yeah, big if.
Yeah, Knights, Dragons is like, okay, go team, I guess. Hope someone wins. Shame if someone loses.
Hopefully the loser ends up being the Eels, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's one of those ones I think, as you've said a few times, you kind of pencil in as a loss before the game even starts.
Yeah, I even said that earlier on when I was going through the team's draw. Like, yeah, I'm penciling that one in for a loss already.
So, I mean, it's like... So, it's kind of hard to get excited about that. But then again, they could show up, they could play really good, and then all of a sudden, excitement, fun. But no. So, there's a couple of decent games there, but nothing I'm particularly getting wound up about, honestly.
So, then we move on to Anzac Round. Kicking off with Sharks and Eagles.
Should be alright, depending on how good the Sharks are next year. And if Manly learn to play with more than one player. But I don't know.
Yeah, that would help. They'd need to play with more than one player if they're going to do well.
I don't
Again,
know,
because people can get better at working out how to stop one player. You need more of your team to step up. Although I will cut them some slack. Jason Saab and Ruben Garrick were also instrumental to Manly's success this year after the slow start.
But Manly, from what I remember, did struggle a bit against the top 4 teams.
They did.
So there is still some weakness to be had there if people are willing to take it. It's just a matter of being able to, take that turbo out of the equation, as you said. I mean, it's one thing to say it, but it's another thing to actually do it. That's why the good teams could do it, because they're good teams. So, in the year of landy ball and blowouts, defense was still important.
And then we move on to Friday. What a weird choice of a Friday night.
Yeah, because you got...
No offense to the Broncos or the Bulldogs, but...
Yes, no offense,
their
guys.
Games...
They're playing
their
separate.
Games in... Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just laughing at the fact that you've got the Broncos and the Cowboys on Friday night, but they're playing other teams.
Yeah, that's... no offense to the Broncos and the Dogs, but their games in recent years have not been particularly good viewing, and they've chucked that as a 7:55 on a Friday.
Yeah.
I reckon that'd be a good time slot, actually, for a Broncos-Cowboys derby, like an Easter or an Anzac special, if you will.
Oh, was it this year's one? And it was the first half, and people were saying it was the Dogs Broncos, and I was saying it was the worst game they've ever seen.
Yeah, I think it was. No one wanted to hold the ball.
Like,
let me go back to that game and find the error rate for it.
I remember it was like with Flex when he was talking about the NFL, and when the lower down teams play, it's a bit of a lottery whether you get a good game or a bad game. And that was definitely a bad game.
The Broncos won at 24-0.
Yeah, I remember there were tries in the second half when the Broncos started sort of coming out with it.
Yeah, it was 0-0 at halftime. Actually, no, it was 2-0 at halftime. Courtesy of a penalty goal in the 33rd minute. As for team stats, here we are. Errors. Where are the errors?
Too many to list, apparently.
Broncos made 10 and the Bulldogs made 9. So no one wanted to hold the ball.
Yeah. It's still not as bad as us versus Storm. Yay.
So what, that's 19 errors total. Let me go see how many that was.
19 errors for one team.
I think it might have been pretty close.
It was. And the next game happens to be South Tigers.
Yeah, Storm 16, Panthers 12.
Told ya. I knew one team got close.
28 errors in one freaking game.
Look, we just wanted to break all the records. We'd done the wins. Storm had done the points. We needed to find a record to break.
Can drop the ball the most times.
Bit of a gentleman's agreement with the Storm. So you get South Saturday, 7:35. Not actually a bad time slot. I like that.
I am looking forward to that one.
So I don't mind that game because by that point you're sort of settled in and ready just to chill and watch a game. So it's nice.
Hopefully Dewey's back by then.
Well, you'd hope so.
I think he's supposed to be missing maybe the first 4 rounds or something. 3 to 4 rounds.
Yeah. The longer he's out, the worse you're going to be. That kind of goes without saying, I think. Though you do have...
Having an easier start to the season with him gone could be good.
And having Hastings there as well, who'll probably fill in for him or something.
Yeah.
Will be a massive...
And like Hastings and Gildart will have a good combination since they're coming from the same team.
Yeah.
And hopefully they can capitalize on that, especially in those early rounds, to hopefully get us on the front foot.
Yeah. Then after that, we got Sunday, 2 p.m, Knights, Eels. NSL, what do you think about the Knights? Are they a team you look forward to playing? Bit here or there on them? Wonder how Knights fans feel about the Eels and vice versa. Can't look.
It'll probably be Hastings and Brooks.
I would assume so. I mean, you don't bring a half over and then tell him to get stuffed.
Yeah. Because it seems clear that Brooks is staying. Whether that remains the case is yet to be seen.
The word coming from the club seems pretty strong on it. So
yeah, exactly.
Ash says Hastings, Madden halves till Dewey gets back. No, I think it'll be Brooks.
Yeah, that's what I was responding to.
Okay, yeah. No, well, I agree with that. Then I think it'll be Brooks will be staying. Honestly, I don't think he's that bad unless they just want to freshen things up. They need to fix other things which will help him be better. And we get to play the Raiders. Yay! I like playing the Raiders. Bit of reverse Tigers fan thing happening there. But as I said earlier, we were talking about our stuff. I mean, we've got a good rivalry with them, so yeah, it's always fun. It gets a bit lively. Hugs for everybody. Lots of love. Dragons, Roosters, obviously. They've had some good games in the past. I've really enjoyed that Monday game with them, but Dragons don't have the usual quality of late.
Yeah, and then we finish off with the other Anzac game.
Which, again, you can't... same as the game before with the Roosters, you're kind of going to go in expecting the Storm to win that.
Yeah, and it'll take a miracle for them to not.
Like, it'll be a good win too.
A Christmas miracle in April.
It can happen. Maybe Santa takes his holidays in Australia and just throws a little miracle that way.
Never works for him.
NSL says, well, Knights are our bogey team at Newcastle, so I'm cautious when it comes to us playing them at Newcastle, even though we smashed them last time. It's the reason for big players out for them. Makes sense. The bogey team thing's pretty big. I remember the Warriors used to be the Storm's bogey team. Like I said, we had the Sharks. Tigers had the other 16 teams, 15 teams. Probably the other 16 teams, because I'm pretty sure they're their own bogey team at times. So I think 16 teams.
They beat themselves more often than not.
Yeah. So the Tigers are probably the biggest bogey team. But yeah.
Someone has to be.
I think we will win comfortably against Newcastle at the home ground. Well, yeah, Newcastle is one of those ones. They actually had a year similar to the Roosters with all the injuries, but they flew under the radar with it. They didn't get all the publicity that the Roosters got, but it was really bad for them a lot this year. They were missing half their spine at times, their forward pack, it was ridiculous. So, yeah, they're one of those teams, again, there's a few of them through the comp. We've mentioned a few times now where it's like, what's going to happen? No idea.
Nobody knows.
It's just, yeah, it's complete mystery. So, it could go either way, but
nobody knows.
Exactly. And what else have we got outside of there? Any other major rounds to look forward to?
Magic round.
Which round is that one again?
10.
So we get a couple of weeks break between Knights, Dogs. Yeah. I'm sure those fans are going to be keen for it, but yeah.
It doesn't seem like a particularly great opener.
No. It's.
I mean, the Magic Round openers we've had so far were Sharks and Titans and Tigers and Knights. And to be honest, I think both of those are better alternatives than this one.
See, the second game's alright. You got Manly Broncos. Like if Justin's Broncos show up, that could actually be a pretty high quality game.
They've had that all Magic Rounds so far.
Lucky buggers. Justin getting special treatment over it.
Yeah, more home games or more away games at home.
NSL. Do you think Para will beat Storm twice? Lol. Again? Question mark. I don't see it happening. And not to talk down the Eels at all, but the Storm are too good to do that too often. I think the Raiders are the only one to consistently do it. So I mean, if you can do what the Raiders used to do to them, then great. But I don't know. I don't see anyone taking it to them that often.
Round 3 and round 25 for those games. Round 3 is the Storm home game.
Yeah, so you'll probably lose that one.
Back at Amy Park.
Yeah, Storm.
They have 3 games in a row. So, like, the Storm are away to the Tigers in round 1, but then they have 3 home games in a row at Amy Park. The Rabbits, the Eels, and the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Like, good luck to those 3 teams playing in front of an Amy Park crowd, some of whom basically have been given free memberships for the season.
Yeah, I don't know. They're already notoriously hard to beat down in Melbourne, and now they're going to have a super appreciative crowd, and all the emotion behind it and all this stuff. I don't know. I think if you play them down there, you're going to lose. Oh, Justin's sad. Oh, no. Don't cry, Justin. Your Broncos are getting better. Just close your eyes and think about Adam Reynolds.
Yeah, think about all the tries he's going to set up for you.
And the 40-20s that he'll kick.
Yeah, the conversions, the penalty goals, the field goals, the 2-point field goals.
It's a beautiful sight. What do we got? Saturday, 3 p.m. Magic Round is Warriors South. Cool. I guess. I don't know.
There's in all of these milestone / special occasion rounds, there's always a few that sound like they're just gonna fall a little flat.
Like that's what
it's about having the good ones in the good time slots, I think, is what's important.
Yeah. So that being Saturday 3 p.m, you're obviously not expecting the best game ever.
Yeah, it's kicking off Super Saturday. You'd hope Super Saturday gets better, and we will get to why Super Saturday will get better momentarily.
Yes, there's a pretty obvious one for that. Titans Dragons.
That could be good.
Yeah, that's one of those sort of games where the quality can be decent if they both show up and have a go. Because neither are like top 4 going to smash the other. So I don't know. That's one of those 50-50, could be actually really entertaining or really dodgy if they make errors and stuff. So it should be interesting. And I'm keen to see how the Titans go. The main thing with them is if they can keep improving. But then the next one, which is where the crescendo of Saturday, which is us versus the Storm, which is where you're definitely putting your claimed quality TV there. It's obviously your 2 top 4 teams. So you'd expect that one to be good. Just reading the chat. Okay, they're having a chat amongst themselves. Good. That's all we like to see.
We've had pretty consistent good viewership all night tonight. I'm really happy.
Thanks, guys. It's good to actually have people here. Makes it a lot more fun when people are engaged and having a chat. And
except for early on, we've had 5 to 8 viewers for basically most of the stream, so it's been really good. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yes. So that's the game, which, like you said, I mean, you want the good games and the good time slots, and that's probably one of the best, unless one of the teams has a really off day, like that final game with all the errors.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, that should be a very, very good way to finish Super Saturday.
Yeah, most people come away from that night thinking good thoughts.
Except for the loser of that game.
Who will cry? And I say that because that will probably be me if we lose.
I'll make sure I've got the smallest violin gifts ready to go if you do lose.
Yeah, we got some tissue gifts going. Yeah, Sunday, Sharks, Raiders. The funniest part about this is a couple of years ago, this would have been a huge game. 2016 to 18, this was a massive game. And they were really high quality too. Remember, they played that final in 2016 when the Sharks went on to win. And they did, Ennis did the Viking clap.
That was funny.
Yeah, they still show the clip every year just to make sure we remember. So yeah, but I don't know. It's a different game now.
Different game, different teams. Could be an anything game.
Roosters, Eels. Well, NSL, how do you think about this one? So this should be, obviously they've put them in the 4 o'clock slot for a reason. 2 top 8 teams you would expect to be high quality. Are you scared of this one?
Probably the second biggest time slot of Magic Round.
This should be the second...
Or third biggest, maybe.
Yeah, but it should be the second highest quality game of the weekend behind ours, I think.
Yeah.
Quite easily, looking at that. I wonder if NSL's a bit scared of the Roosters next year. Coming back to form.
Yeah, to full strength.
I know, I'm a bit worried about it myself.
You should be.
I know. I think everyone should be. Be afraid. Be very afraid. And then we round out with Tigers, Cowboys, which that's your territory, so I don't know how you feel about that one.
It feels very odd having a home game against the Cowboys not in New South Wales. It feels bizarrely unnatural.
Yeah, it's like Origin getting moved up to Queensland.
I want to pencil it in for a win because we are undefeated in Magic Rounds so far, and I would like that to continue.
Yeah. We'll see. I guess that one will be completely dependent on how the Tigers show up.
Apparently the Tigers usually find some magic in Magic Round because they put on some decent scores.
Yeah.
Against the Panthers in 2019 and the Knights last year. So
I feel like
more of that, please, Tigers.
I feel like Batman. Why did you say that now?
Yes, I said it deliberately.
It comes up every time.
I have to take my little wins when I can get them. As you said it yourself before, I have to take my wins when I can get them, and I will continue to do so.
You've got to do it. It has to be done. I don't know. I think you do have a sort of, it's like a minor rivalry with the Cowboys. Obviously, you've got that record in Sydney over them, so there is that little sort of tit for tat thing with them. It should be interesting. I don't know. I feel like I say far too often. It all depends on how the Tigers show up, but it's so true though.
It really is.
That game
sad.
That game this year against them was an exact demonstration of that. NSL, it will be intense. It could end up like how we defeated the Storm, but yeah, lads, be careful about how you try to speak down to the roosters and sharks. They will hunt and bite down in pieces. Yeah,
I've already accepted that fate.
yeah. I'm expecting the roosters to definitely be up there. They're the one that I'm kind of terrified of because they had the year they did and they're going to have a point to prove, especially guys like Kiri who had to just sit and watch all year. I can't imagine that felt good. Like you've just got to sit and watch your team lose and you can't go out and contribute.
And like Manu's going to come back and he's going to be ready to cause some serious pain as well. Like, especially in the direction of Latrell Mitchell.
Gets knocked out in the finals and can't help them get through. Like, yeah, that's the sort of stuff that would hurt, surely.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, I thought maybe we could have a quick look at the two probably biggest rivalries in the comp in the Rabbits and the Roosters and the Broncos and the Cowboys. I feel like they're probably two of the biggest rivalries at this point. Maybe Roosters and Storm is another big one.
Yeah, happy enough with that. Like I said, I would actually include us in there, but I don't know. The NRL's ignoring it, so they can go eat a barrel of bucket shit.
So the two games for the Roosters and the Rabbits are round 3, the Rabbits home game, Friday 8 o'clock. And round 25, the Roosters home game at a venue to be confirmed at the Friday 8 o'clock. And that game could potentially, word on the street is, be the opening of the Sydney Football Stadium.
Good way to do it.
Currently in the draw is listed as a TBA, so
well, it'd be a good way to do it if they do.
Yeah, for sure. That would be one heck of a way to christen that stadium.
NSL said, what about Panthers Storm? As I said earlier,
we kind of already gone over that.
Yeah, we did go over it. As I said, it is, but it isn't. Like, because the whole thing with the Storm for us was the fact that we lost the grand final after not being in a grand final for so long, and we lost it to them. The fact that we beat them in a finals game and then won a grand final, for me personally, I look at the Storm now as just one of the really good teams that we have to beat. Like, to me, they're not a specific rivalry. Now, we got that monkey off our backs, so to speak.
Oh. As for the Broncos and the Cowboys, they also play against each other in round 3. That's the Sunday 4 o'clock Broncos home game. And then the return fixture in round 16, which was the Saturday 5:30. So that's a bit of a rivalry round 3. Yeah. Both of those two big rivalries on the same weekend.
That'll be a good one. NSL, Panthers versus Raiders, or dead now. No, Panthers Raiders is still a rivalry game. That's why it gets fiery. Like I said, that's another one we addressed earlier, obviously. Most of the Panthers ones we did address earlier, but yes, it gets quite heated in our games. There's usually a bit of grubbery here and there and goes both ways.
And if we want to include Roosters and Storm, they play each other round 14.
I think they're worth
Roosters
including.
Home game.
They
I'd say so.
Like the two best teams of the last decade. You can't not. They're kind of like the ones vying for domination over each other. And
they have had some pretty intense clashes in that time as well.
It's been pretty good. Some golden points and penalty shootouts, whatever has happened.
And then they have a rematch down in Melbourne in round 24. That's the Friday 8 o'clock. And what was that first one? Saturday 5:30. Interesting time slot for that one. You would have thought it'd be the Saturday 7:30 at the very least.
Yes. That's interesting. I don't know. Maybe get people in early, I guess. All right. I think we're getting ready to wind up.
Yeah, I need food.
And I need to go see humans. I've been looking at a computer screen since about 12.
It's a good solid 10-hour stint.
Yeah. See what I do for you guys. This is how much love I put into this for you guys. This is why we need more viewers, more people in chat. Start donating money to the stream. I don't know. But hey,
need unlock super chats.
Yeah. But hey, if that ever did happen, it would go towards the production quality, basically. Like that's that would be the aim if we ever did get to that point. As we said,
buy Aaron a new microphone.
Yes. It does sound pretty decent though. Haven't had any complaints yet. But yeah, as said, next week Aaron's having the week off. Bit of mental time to deload. I will probably pull up a game and we'll just have a more relaxed stream. Maybe just a bit of Q&A, a bit of chat between me and the chat and go from there, really. There is stuff we could talk about, but I'd rather leave it for when Aaron's back so we can actually talk about the topics as the cat.
We have been discussing what was our plan B for tonight if the draw didn't drop. Will probably be our main focus for 2 weeks' time, so no spoilers on that just yet.
Yeah, we'll leave that for later, but yeah, so there you go. It'll be a nice little get into that next week and chat away, and we'll get some gaming going, I think. It's the off-season anyway.
Ash, we have been thinking of how to incorporate some Rugby League Live 4 into future streams, so we're still talking about the logistics of that. We're going to try and make it happen at some point, and we'll see what we end up doing with it.
Yeah, we do want to do it at some point.
We know you like that, and we are keen to do that. It's just working out together how we're going to make it work. And I haven't exactly had the time or the mental ability to have some of those discussions recently.
Yeah, but the good thing is it's the off season, so we don't have to rush it too quickly.
Exactly. We have a whole however many weeks left until March 10. Let me work it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Tuesday, March 8th, my birthday, 17 weeks away, so 17 more streams until round 1 kicks off.
There's time.
That'd be interesting. That'd be interesting, doing this stream on my birthday.
We can sing happy birthday. We'll get everyone in chat.
I didn't even realize that till now. We'll be streaming on my birthday if we keep going with the Tuesdays.
There we go. We'll get some happy birthdays, Kelvin.
Put in your calendars, everyone. Aaron's birthday, 8th of March.
All right, guys. Thanks for coming, everybody. Have a good night. And like I said, join the Twitter. We've got the Twitter there. So come and follow us there. If you need to, you can say g'day to us. We will respond as best we can. If you do watch afterwards, leave a comment. We will watch the comments and stuff like that as well. So if anyone does, we will be there to respond.
Yeah, we can both access the comments and reply to them. If you want to direct your comment at a particular one of us, do that, and that person will reply to it.
Yeah, we can both do it. So it's all good. All right, guys. Night all.
See you, everyone.